Alrighty.
You know what? I gotta count.
No, with no counting.
We gotta, so the clap isn't in it.
Everyone, I can cut the clap out without us counting.
But you don't.
Sometimes I do. Every other time I cut the clap out. Yeah, sometimes the clap's not in it. Anyways, hello everyone and welcome back to the McDonCast,
the funnest podcast in town.
The only podcast around.
You don't even know the phrase.
Did you say in round?
He was about to say in town, but then when he realized I wasn't saying that, he pivoted last second, and so he ended up saying in round. Anyway,
should that be the thing now?
The only podcast in round.
No, the only podcast in round.
We're the only podcast that shoots in a circular format. From now on, we're recording exclusively on Snapchat spectacles.
our podcast video looks like a fisheye lens.
Why aren't cameras like a circle? Like the camera is a circle, so why doesn't it record in a circle? Why does it record in a square?
Do you want it to be in a circle?
No, I'm just asking why.
Like scientifically, how does that work?
Yeah, like is there more video that we're recording that we're just cropping out? I want to see that. Why show me the circle, Apple. Where's the circle?
That's what the...
No, the wide angle is just a bigger rectangle. Do you know what a wide angle is?
I think all of us are way too dumb to know how cameras work, so I don't even think we should be having this conversation.
The point is, circles are taking a... Why was there so much condensation on this cup? Literally dripping all over with just condensation by itself.
Well, because it's cold and it's getting warmer outside. For our video audience, there's sunlight coming in through this window, which hasn't been there since...
That's never happened, because we're in daylight saving time now.
Yep, because we're getting into the summertime.
Let's give a brief run through the episode. We've got
It's a light news week, guys. There's like nothing going on.
We got an announcement from EA. We got an announcement from Marvel. We got some Harley Quinn news. We got some Obi-Wan news. We got some Puss and Boots news. We got Sonic news, we got Turning Red review, and we've got some rumors, some spicy rumors.
What is the next big movie to come out? Is it Morbius?
Morbius doesn't count.
Is it
Lightyear's the next big one.
Sonic?
No. Well, maybe.
Sonic's in April. Yeah, I guess
maybe
it's
Sonic, yeah, if we're not counting Morbius.
If you don't count
not,
Morbius,
it's
or
not.
that Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum buddy comedy.
Buddy romance adventure movie.
You saw Dog, by the way.
You did?
Yeah.
Why? When? Was it good?
A couple days ago. No.
It was alright.
The ending's fine, but the rest of the movie is just like weird and dumb and cynical.
Does the dog die?
No, the dog doesn't die.
Well, he's supposed to die, and then the guy rescues him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Part of the plot
The guy doesn't die either?
No, neither one of them die.
No, he does have seizures, though.
No, because the dog helps him with his PTSD. And all this, yeah. And the dog also has PTSD, but he helps the dog.
They help each other.
Even though that's barely developed throughout the entire movie.
The real question is, was the dog Channing Tatum or the dog?
That's the tagline.
That's the real question. Who's the real dog?
It's Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum acts terrible for the entire movie.
Well, he's not really an actor, so it makes sense.
What?
He's not a good actor.
Channing Tatum?
Yeah, he's really just a model that sort of became an actor for some reason. Anyway.
He was in Magic Mike.
He sure was.
And I think they're doing a third one of those.
Is it going to be XXXL?
No, I think it's going to be on HBO Max exclusively.
Great. Anyway, Perfect Dark Remake is being delayed for several years due to massive staff turnover. So Tucker, give us some info on that.
So this was announced at the Game Awards, I think like either this last one or the one before. Crystal Dynamics was supposed to be doing it, which is a subsidiary of Square Enix.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I just kind of glanced at it, but I saw that like they had like a staff of like 100 something people.
Mm-hmm.
And they've gone through like 100 of them. Like they've quit, and then they just had to like keep hiring
new
and they
ones.
just keep quitting, which is just tells you how good of a work environment they must all be in.
Maybe you should fix your company.
Yes, we're talking about the same studio that developed the Marvel's Avengers game. Here. And the other reason it's being delayed is Perfect Dark is an Xbox IP, so this is being developed exclusively for Xbox. And because Xbox has decided that they want to invest in making good video games, they're like, why do you keep developing crap? And then they keep having them go back, like try to make it good, and then they come to them, it's not good enough. They keep going back, so they have quality standards now, which they didn't have before, and that's very upsetting. Crystal Dynamics, who again made the Marvel's Avengers game, which shows you their quality standards.
They clearly did not have any. Alrighty, well, that's all fun. Yeah, fix your company. Stop sucking. EA will hold an E3 presentation this year. Why?
Will not hold.
Oh, well, they will not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no!
So...
Battlefront 3?
No, Battlefield.
What Battlefront?
No, Battlefront.
No, they've already said they're not doing Battlefront 3.
Hard, Battle Soft. What is the game they make?
So they haven't technically participated in E3 for like the past 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
What they would do is EA would technically start on Sunday and go through like Thursday, and they would do a presentation on Saturday, like the same. And so they were doing it just to like be different and special.
Usually their games would just be highlighted in other studio showcases.
Yeah. And then they wanted to do their own thing, but then it became like this 4-hour presentation where they were talking about Sims 4 and Madden 21.
Again, because that's the only game that they have.
Like, I remember the year Fallen Order came out.
Is Sims 5 ever coming out?
No, they're not making it. They're not going to make it.
Why?
Because they just keep adding stuff to Sims 4.
Just make a new one.
No.
Yeah.
Different studio. Anyway, no, but well, like in 2019, their presentation was like 5 hours, and they focused on 5 games, each one for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was Fallen Order, which was the only new game they had. The other 4 were FIFA 21, Madden, not FIFA 20, Madden 20, Sims 4 DLC, and whatever the other thing was. It was like a mobile game. And so 3 of them were old, and 1 of them was a mobile game, and 1 of them was new.
Sounds like a very good presentation that everyone wanted to be at.
And then in 20, they just did like a highlight reel.
Fair enough.
And then now they're just like, we're done. I don't know why they did it. I don't understand why studios that don't have a console hold presentations. Like Square Enix has started holding one in recent years, and they make all their games look the same.
They only make 2 games. And one of them is over.
All they make is JRPGs. So when you watch their presentation, it's just like JRPG. Next thing JRPG. Next thing JRPG.
Final Fantasy and other versions of Final Fantasy.
And then every now and then they'll have a new Tomb Raider or like an Avengers game.
Yeah, like every 10 years they'll have a different game. Yeah, it's not surprising. I think EA doesn't really make anything anymore.
They pretty much never have. EA is the worst company. Yeah. Like, just the worst one.
They make crappy reskinned sport games that are virtually identical, if not for the number.
That 12-year-olds buy and keep the company afloat.
Yeah, and they make...
and terrible Star Wars games.
Yeah, and... Fallen Order is not terrible. It was just unfinished at launch.
It was just 50% done when they released it.
Hey, when I played it, it was good, because I played it like 2 years after it came out. So I had a fun time with it. Anyway... moving on to TV news, where we do have some actual fairly big announcements, or not announcements, but trailers. Ms.Marvel, we got the first trailer for Ms.Marvel.
The TV show.
The TV show featuring the character by the name Ms.Marvel. Well, that's her superhero name.
Not really the same character. They've changed.
Well, it's almost the same character. Her general vibe is the same.
Well, Sam,
sometimes
the big controversy here is that we got a first look at her new powers, which are she's just a Green Lantern now.
No, she's slightly worse. Her constructs are spiky.
And purple.
And
they come from a magic
So basically she's a Star Sapphire, which is basically a pink Green Lantern that makes spiky constructs.
Sam, how do you feel about this change?
I like her new powers better. Her old powers are stupid.
Hot take.
Hot take. Embiggen is the dumbest power ever. It was dumb when Mr. Fantastic had it. It's still dumb now that she has it. I don't like stretchy superheroes. They in very rarely would the ability to be stretchy come in handy. Like ever. Like even if you make your hand big, it's still like the mass of your hand. So like you're basically punching someone with a balloon.
No, because if your hand is big, it weighs more.
No. And like, do her muscles increase strength with the stretchy superheroes are just dumb, and I don't like thinking about them.
I get why they changed it.
They changed it because it would be expensive, but also stretchy powers are dumb.
Well, a couple. They changed it because it would have been really expensive because you have to do that. Because energy stuff is easy. It's like it's just energy. But like if you do like her hand gets real big, then you have to like get this texture right on her skin. You have to make it look realistic, and like an actual hand. Yeah. But like, and then and also Mr. Fantastic, they're gonna do him soon.
Yeah, but he's gonna be in a movie with a much bigger budget.
And they also don't want her to be
competing.
To have stretchy powers before he does, because he had stretchy power. He existed 60 years before she was created.
Yeah.
And the other reason is Inhumans. She's an Inhuman in the comics,
and they don't have that in the MCU.
They're not doing those.
Well, they do, but
they ditched them. They don't. Yeah. Those dead show didn't count. So they're not doing Inhumans.
That was
so
I saw a TikTok actually where someone was like, "This is going to be the biggest Marvel flop ever."
Ms.Marvel?
Yeah, which I don't think it is.
I don't think it'll be as received.
I don't think it'll be received super great, but I don't think it'll be a huge flop. But anyway, the person who responded to their TikTok, they were like, "Well, no, Inhumans was the worst thing ever. There's no way it's worse than Inhumans." And I was like, "Wait till we tell them Ms.Marvel's an Inhuman." But no, I mean, I don't think it'll be bad. I think it'll be sort of. It seems a lot more.
It looks like a CW show.
It looks a lot more Disney Channel than the rest of the superhero shows we've gotten so far.
From Marvel specifically.
It looks like an episode of like Liv and Maddie or like Lab Rats or like some other Disney show.
It looks like a CW superhero show, except for like the CGI is better.
It's like a lost Mighty Med character who just stumbled in the MCU somehow.
Also, I don't really like superheroes where their power is just they have a thing. I think I might have talked about this before on a different podcast, but like when her power is just she happens to have this bracelet, it's like, okay.
Well, maybe
anyone
it's like only members of her family can use it or something like that.
Okay, whatever. But like still, I'd rather like they have a special skill they've obtained.
Yeah.
Or they have a power that's like gone through the family and that's responsibility they have to uphold.
From the trailer, it seems like she just finds this bracelet.
It's like in her basement and she just finds a magic
bracelet. Which like there
bracelet.
are other like Green Lantern would be the closest example. But even he has to be like worthy to wield the ring.
Yeah.
There's a trial there.
And he has to, and then there's like the whole core and the like when the core operates. I don't like it when it's like Jerry found a magic rock in the sewer.
Yeah, and
that lets him shoot lasers out of his eyes.
It's not like dragon scales where like they just found a thing and now they have powers.
Yeah, it's like, okay, but what if Dave found that? How was Jerry special for finding this magic rock?
Yeah, I mean, and of course you can always do the thing where it's like they were sort of like Ben 10 where it's like
it chose you.
It just happened to find like if anyone else had found it, the world would have gone to crap type situation. But even Ben 10 retconned that later and was like, actually, Ben 10 gave Ben 10
because there was an episode where Gwen got it and everything was like
that was another dimension. But no. Remember,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Remember they retconned it. Then they had Ben 10 from the future go back in time and hit the asteroid into. Because remember in the first episode, the asteroid is like going straight and then it goes straight down.
Yeah.
Their explanation for that was like Ben 10 from the future went back and like bonked into it, so it shot straight down to where Ben 10 was.
When they said that?
That was an omniverse.
Yeah, so the fourth series.
Yeah, so the fourth season of the show.
No, fourth series.
Technically, I mean,
because it was original.
Series and season was
original Ben 10. And then it was Alien Force.
Then Ultimate Alien, and then Omniverse. That's not the point. That's not the point.
And Omniverse looked different from the other.
The point is there's got to be some. I mean, they'll probably. I'm hoping they come up with a reason.
It'll be some family legacy.
I'm hoping they come up with a reason. I mean, there's no way they're just gonna leave it where she just found it.
Yeah, I do understand why fans of the character are upset about the power change.
Yeah.
Like,
it was really the shape-shifting aspect of it that they seem to have a problem with.
Specifically tied to her origin,
because she shape-shifts into a white woman and
into Carol Danvers.
Carol Danvers in order to like mask
and to like
her,
help a person,
in order to like make society more comfortable with her superhero-ness.
Yeah, but like
I understand the messaging there is very strong. It makes sense that you would be upset with that.
Apparently, it looks like their workaround for that is she's just gonna wear a Captain Marvel outfit,
which that's not the same thing.
That's not the same.
But I don't know. Like I said, it looks very Disney Channel.
Yeah, just from like the way it like was shot and like the color and like all the actors being like tweens.
It's like if Kate Bishop took place like 5 years before the show actually did,
Yeah.
and like
If
she
it was
also
like
had
it,
powers.
if it was like superhero high, and she's like,
this seems like the superhero high Marvel show.
yeah,
Which, I mean, we haven't gotten one of those yet. I'm curious to see how it does. But
What's the one with Tim Allen? The movie with the kids that have
Zoom.
Zoom. Yeah.
I know
That's
what's
a-
relevant.
Zoom.
It's a good
Hey, when
movie.
are they making
Academy
Zoom
for
2?
superheroes.
Don't you dare diss
That
Zoom.
movie lost like we talked about this on a
Yeah.
different podcast. That movie lost like $80 million.
Hey, I want Zoom 2. When's it coming out? Anyways,
That movie's terrible.
no, it's bad. It's so bad.
Is it? Isn't there like one famous actor in it that isn't Tim Allen? I know Chevy
I think
Chase is
his
in it.
wife was like a famous actress.
You know, it's like one of the kids like grew up and they're famous now or something.
It was like Zendaya in it or something?
No, it was something I don't remember.
That's not important. Yeah, it looks fine. I like the way her powers look. I like the actual
it just
aesthetic
looks like,
of it.
like energy construct.
Well, I like how it's sort of crystally and sort of sparkly.
No, the other reason they're doing this is because this way all the Marvels
have energy powers, yeah. And they can also sell you a bracelet that lights up purple instead of selling you a big foam hand of someone. like
And
they did
she'll
with the
still
Hulk.
make big hands out of energy.
Yeah,
They
she
just
does
won't-
that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Which again, that's dumb, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'll watch it. I'm curious
Green
to see
Lantern
how it
makes
goes.
big fists all the time, Sam.
Yeah, and it's dumb when Green Lantern makes big green fists too. Why would you? In what circumstance would you be fighting someone? And you're like, I can create anything, literally anything,
Like water.
and I choose to just make a big hand that I could just punch them with my regular hand, but I'm gonna make a big hand. Like, why not make a bat or a knife or literally anything else?
I like to see a Green Lantern comic where he's like fighting Sinestro. And Sinestro's like coming at him, and he just makes like a regular knife and just shanks him in the stomach.
That would
and he
work so
starts
much better
bleeding.
than making a big hand and punching him in the face.
Anyway,
Anyway.
this scroll down.
Oh, yeah. Let me scroll down a little bit.
This series will premiere on June 8th. Why am I hiccuping?
Probably because you got dumb hiccup brain.
On Disney Plus, Sam. So this will come out. Wow, Obi-Wan's going.
Uh-oh.
That's interesting.
No, that's bad.
Well, hang on. Yeah, this will be going well. This will be like coming out the
Because
same day.
Obi-Wan is, what, like a 4-episode series?
Yeah, this will come out at Obi-Wan's.
And they don't have enough faith to let this one carry itself? They couldn't wait
No,
2 extra weeks?
This is very interesting. Well, this hasn't happened before. They've specifically spaced it out, so they've had one major show, either Star Wars or Marvel, going at once.
Yeah. But each one of those shows, they had enough faith to let it carry the platform until the next one came out.
but they let it.
This makes me extremely worried that either Obi-Wan, they know Obi-Wan's going to be bad
Because like
at launch,
even
or
with
this show's going to be bad
even
at
with
launch.
Hawkeye coming out so close to Boba Fett, they premiered the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye at once, so there would be space between them. Well, like this will come out during Obi-Wan's run. I think
That's not good.
they want to bury this.
They either want to bury this or Obi-Wan, and
they
it's
have no
not
faith.
Obi-Wan that they're trying to bury.
No, it's not. Obi-Wan, they released a trailer with like all this fanfare, and like everyone was like, and they had this like all these shots like, oh, Obi-Wan's back.
Heck, even Moon
it's
Knight.
4 hours. It's a limited series. Moon Knight, they've been putting out a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff for. They've been hyping it up.
And that comes out after this.
Ms.Marvel,
we
they
have
just-
way more
No,
content.
Moon Knight comes out before this.
It does? When does Moon Knight
comes
come
out in like a couple weeks.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But like Ms.Marvel, they just like dropped the trailer in the middle of the day on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't know. That gives me mixed feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll still watch it.
That is weird. That does mean they definitely have something coming out right after this too. Then. Would that be? I don't know. Maybe She-Hulk.
Or it could be Bad Batch 3.
I think Bad Batch. If anything's gonna air while they have major shows airing, Bad Batch 2 is
Yeah.
gonna be that. Because Bad Batch 2 is probably gonna be another 16-episode show,
Yeah.
and you don't want a Star Wars cartoon carrying your platform for 4 months.
It just doesn't work well.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, that's interesting. I'll watch it. My hopes are not high, but they're not super low either.
I have like zero expectations.
Yeah, I don't
It can wow me. It could make me
If it's really
bored.
good, great. If it's really bad,
I don't care.
No. Alrighty, a Harley Quinn animated series spin-off focusing on Kite Man is in development for HBO Max and has been described as Cheers for supervillains.
Sam, what does that concept remind you of?
God, I could have sworn there's a YouTube channel
Where they've been doing this bit
where
for
they
years.
literally have a parody version of the Cheers theme play at the beginning of every episode they make for this web series. Oh, and by the way, it's a pub for supervillains.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of that series? Do you recall, Tucker?
Is it? It's Always Sunny on the How It Should Have Ended YouTube channel?
No, it's called Villain Pub.
So they're just ripping off Villain Pub.
Yeah, and it's gonna be worse because they only have access to C-tier DC supervillains.
So yeah, this is a spin-off of the Harley Quinn animated show that was on DC Universe, and now it's moving to HBO Max. I think they're on season 3.
Yeah,
That'll
there's
be
2
releasing
seasons out right
at
now.
some point. So it's about Kite Man.
He's
Are
a
we
fun
doing-
character. But
Are we doing too many bits with like lame DC villains now?
Yeah, I feel like they're leaning a little too heavy into that
We did
space.
it in the Lego Batman movie, and it was
And it was funny then because it was Lego. So it was like,
Yeah,
goofy,
we did it in
haha.
Suicide Squad,
and we were like, okay. Okay.
and we're also doing it in Peacemaker.
Like Suicide Squad, it made sense because they kill off most of the cast.
Yeah,
Peacemaker, there was only really 2 characters.
there's
it was
mentions
a lower
and
tier show.
Yeah, but like the bit was that Kite Man
But like
also exists. in our universe.
animation, you can do pretty much anything. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we have a little bit too many. The joke is that they're villains.
The villains
and they
are
suck
lame.
and they're weird. I don't know. I'll probably watch it. I mean, I saw Harley Quinn was fine. It was pretty good. Some funny moments. The ending was kind of stupid, but the rest was fine.
You like Kite Man?
Kite Man was a good character. He's one of the. He's fine. He didn't get.
Do you want to watch a whole show about him?
Not really.
Well, now you can.
Alrighty. Now on to business. The original plans for the Obi-Wan series were originally much darker and smaller scale. It also featured Darth Maul as a main antagonist and featured story elements that were very similar to The Mandalorian, according to Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni also requested that Maul be taken out and replaced with Darth Vader, and that the Inquisitors be added. Kathleen Kennedy also states that the tone was changed to become more hopeful. Those original scripts were scrapped and reworked into the series that will be released. So this show must have been pitched before any of the shows we got.
Okay, so this has been in development, like technically since Disney bought Star Wars.
Yeah,
in,
this
like,
must have been like one of the
2013.
first projects they
Because this was
started.
going to, because they were doing anthology movies. This was going to be one of them originally.
Yeah, I remember that they announced it like that.
Well, they didn't announce
way.
it, but it was like
So was Boba Fett.
They were going to do They were going to do Rogue One, Solo,
Boba Fett, Obi-Wan.
and then it was rumored that Obi-Wan was going to be the other one.
And then maybe Donald Glover Calrissian movie.
But then a Solo bombed, and they canceled all their anthology plans. And then they had a bunch of other ones they were thinking about doing. Like there was a Mos Eisley anthology movie
Yeah.
they were thinking about. But like they scrapped all of them. Boba Fett went away, and that was, I guess, warped into the Boba Fett show. But
Yeah.
not really at all. It was just the Mandalorian spin-off.
Mhm.
But Obi-Wan, they decided to make that a series and do 4 episodes, and they had 4 scripts written.
Mhm.
And when they announced this with Ewan McGregor returning at D23 a couple years ago, that's what they had those 4 scripts, and it was going to be that.
Well, when was the Darth Maul Obi-Wan arc in Rebels? Because that was a long time ago. That was like Rebels season 2, I think.
That was that was 2017.
Maybe season 3.
Yeah, it was season 3. It's in 2018.
I mean, that's 5 years ago.
well, that's what how is that relevant?
I'm saying they pitched this a long time ago. Like Mandalorian,
Well, yeah, this has been fair. But
all
what
those shows came out fairly recently.
What I'm saying is they had written those scripts, and they had Deborah Chow to direct it,
Mhm.
and then they halted production because Mandalorian came out, and that was about a gruff guy protecting a little
Yeah.
kid and becoming its father or whatever. And Obi-Wan was kind of the same thing. The original plan was a Jedi was going to show up on Tatooine, and he was going to want to kill Luke because he found out that he was Darth Vader's son, and Obi-Wan was going to have to protect him. And that was like the whole thing. And I guess somehow Darth Maul would be involved. And it was apparently super sad because like it would be. Obi-Wan should be really depressed right now.
Yeah.
All of his friends are dead, and he's now living in a cave.
And having to kill one of the only remaining Jedi in the galaxy.
Kill his best friend, or he thinks kill his best friend. All of his other friends were shot to death.
Who's a Jedi that has a relatively close connection to Obi-Wan? Like, I could see maybe Quinlan Vos filling that role. Ahsoka, I feel like wouldn't try to kill Luke.
No, it's a character that was in the expanded universe stuff that they were going to bring over.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking who could have like.
I don't think it was one of his friends. I think
maybe
it was
that guy from Fallen Order who was living on Dathomir.
No, it was some other guy. He has like a suit or something.
Yeah,
but he was gonna kill. He was in. I think the same thing happened in the comics as that he was from too. But anyway, that was the plan. They scrapped that because it was too sad and because it was going to be basically the Mandalorian again. And at that point, it would have come out like a couple months after Mandalorian, and so they would have been two basically the same shows right after each other.
Yeah, and
so they scrapped that. Dave Filoni was promoted to being like one of the heads of all creative stuff going on. He was like, "Okay, halt this. This needs to be reworked.
Focusing on other stuff.
Take Darth Maul out. That doesn't make sense. If this is going to be before Rebels, and also Darth Maul. If it's after Rebels, he's dead. Take that out. Darth Vader in. Put in these Inquisitor guys. Put in the Grand Inquisitor as a character from my animated show. And we're going to make it so it's a bigger scale. So he's going to different planets, fighting guys or something. So, yeah, I see why they changed directions. And apparently they had even like talked to Ray Park to come back as Darth Maul. I'm glad they didn't. I'm already scared they're going to just whack up the continuity if Darth Vader just shows up and they have an actual
Again,
like,
that wouldn't
fight.
whack up the continuity. That would just change the context of that line. But I think I've accepted now that that's probably going to happen. So I've come to terms with that.
I'm sure
it's lame, but whatever. It's fine.
What'll happen is either they'll have their big fight for real.
Yeah.
And all like the fans will be like, yeah, they fought. Woo, cool. They got a big fight.
It would be kind of cool to see a proper fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. Because, I mean, we get the fight in episode 4.
And 3.
But okay, yeah, but that's before he's like full black armor Darth. I'm saying black armor Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan. Because we saw it in episode 4, but let's not pretend that was like a real lightsaber fight. They were just sort of poking each other for a minute.
Obi-Wan was planning to die there, but like,
yeah,
that'd be a guy in a robot suit who can barely move going up against a very frail old man.
Yeah,
and in the show, it will be the same, but a slightly less frail old man.
Well, keep in mind, Darth Vader's not supposed to be frail. He's supposed to be like.
No, I'm talking about Obi-Wan being frail.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like he's like that in episode 4 because for the movie because it was made in the 70s and they didn't have a lot of stuff going on.
He can't like run or anything.
No, he can. He's stuck in cybernetically enhanced. He's like he can be agile when he wants to be. He just very rarely needs to be because he's so much more powerful than anyone else he ever comes across that he very rarely needs to actually invest any significant amount of effort into what he's doing. But we've never really seen like Darth Vader really go full nutso mode. I mean, we saw a little bit in Rogue One, yeah. I'm saying I want to see that Darth Vader fight Obi-Wan. I feel like that could be interesting. Yeah, it'll mess with the context of that line a little bit, but like it would be cool. You can't admit that it wouldn't be cool. It would be cool.
Do you think Hayden Christensen will be like mask off Darth Vader at some point?
Like Ahsoka fight style?
Yeah, well, not like even more than that.
Maybe. I don't think he's going to take the helmet all the way off because he would like die, but...
Well, I'm sure there'll be a scene where he's like getting out of the back of the chamber or whatever.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
But like, because what they'll end up doing for the voice is they'll use the computer to synthesize new James Earl Jones dialogue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what they'll do. And there'll probably be a couple of flashbacks where he's in character as Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think if they have their big fight, that he'll like hit like a huge chunk off, and it'll just be Hayden Christensen.
I
Just him.
could see that being cool. I mean that scene from Ahsoka or from that fight in
From
Rebels is iconic.
I mean, that's the best episode.
That's
of that
one
show.
of the most intimidating Vaders we've ever seen. And that is an example of Vader being more agile in a fight. Is in that fight with Ahsoka. He's not flipping around, but he's not slow either. He's moving. Like that, yeah. Something like that could be very interesting. It would be really cool to see that, you know, and maybe have the Hayden Christensen voice coming out of Darth Vader, but still have the James Earl Jones voice sort of at the same time. That could be really cool.
I hope they at least pay James Earl Jones if they're going to use that computer.
I think he said he's in it, right?
Mm-mm.
He didn't?
They haven't announced it. What if he just doesn't talk?
That would be lame. I mean, unless they do it really well, but I don't know.
No,
I don't know about that.
If they're going to use that computer to do Luke, they're going to use it to do everyone else.
Yeah.
Like,
why wouldn't you?
I fully expect Leia and Han Solo to show up in the Mandalorian stuff at some point, and to both be made of computers.
I don't know if Leia will.
No, they did it before she died, Sam. Remember when they did it before she even died?
Yeah. But, like, she was still alive for that, like, so it wasn't as creepy.
Well, they did it to Tarkin.
Yeah, but he was only on screen for 5 seconds, and he's not, like, a big character.
No, but he was literally he wasn't even, like, de-aged.
Yeah. But, like, again...
His face was literally
Again,
mocap.
he was on screen for what?
He was in a couple
two,
of
3
scenes.
minutes, maybe? The whole movie? He's only on screen for, like, 5 minutes.
It was enough where it was very distracting.
It still and he didn't even look that bad. The Padme one looked a lot worse than his did.
Leia looked a lot worse.
And she was on screen for a lot less time.
The Leia one was worse because it was like fine with her head down, and then she looked up.
Looks up and her face falls apart. Like, anyway, what was I even gonna say? It's again, he was a much more minor character in the grand scheme of Star Wars. Leia is a much more important character to the fans than Tarkin is.
If they're gonna bring Luke in and do that, I think they'll just...
But he's still alive too. It's weirder to bring back people that...
Do you think they care?
I think they do.
They brought her back in Rise of Skywalker and she was dead.
Yeah, but that was all, like...
I thought they didn't de-age her. But they did, like,
that was all
change her
stuff that she
clothing.
signed off on being in before she died.
I guess.
This would be a totally new thing with her in it that she did not have any part in.
I think they'll pay her family. It'll be fine. You know what they'll do? You know how her daughter is in... Our daughter is an actor too, or whatever. They'll bring her in to be like the on-set stand-in, and then that'll be like the okay for them to do it.
They are not the same shape.
What?
Have you seen her daughter? They do not look the same, like, at all.
Still, no. I'm just saying. I'm saying they'll do that so that like they have like the family's okay to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure years ago. You know what? When Carrie Fisher signed that paperwork to let them do it in Rogue One, I bet you there was a clause in there where they're like, we can do this as many times as we want for the rest of time. I'm sure they did that to all three of them. I'm sure they have a 3D scan of all three of that main cast.
Do you think they're getting paid for those?
I'm sure they're getting something.
Like, I would feel really like...
Well,
I feel, okay, with how politically active Mark Hamill is, I would be surprised if they did that and didn't give him some sort of compensation.
He's getting residuals.
Yeah.
He's getting, you know what? He's probably getting the...
I mean, I assume they're paying him for his likeness as well.
He's in the credits, so he has to have compensation.
Yeah.
According to...
But see, they're using his likeness.
He's getting paid union rate.
James Earl Jones's face isn't in this.
That's true.
It's just...
His
a
voice.
synthesized computer version of his voice.
Yeah.
So do you pay for like royalties for your voice as well?
I think you have to. I mean, I don't know what the rule is on that.
Like if someone doesn't...
Well, you know what? Disney's done that before, and they've had to pay the family.
Well, because like if you hire someone else to do an impression of you, that's totally different.
Yeah, you're right. Because like, if he's not doing anything,
if the computer's doing an impression, what is that? And there was also that new law that was made that you can't copyright works created by like AI or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting debate.
What if... I don't even know why they would do that. I don't know why they do it for Luke. They're both alive. They could just talk. They could just send you a voice memo from their house.
If I was a forward-thinking voice actor, I would have. This is advice. I guess advice.
You know what?
To anyone who is watching us who is thinking about being a voice actor. If you sign a contract with a studio company, whatever, make sure you have some sort of clause in there that they have to pay you if they use your voice.
Has like a good enough relationship with Disney where they wouldn't do that.
But I feel like
he's been Darth Vader and he's also Mufasa, so I think he's in good terms with the studio where they'll give him like a couple dollars.
If they screwed him over, I wouldn't be surprised either.
I think if they did, I think that'll lead to a much larger thing about like the rules around using an actor's likeness and voice. And
this is some interesting territory that we're quickly approaching.
We're in a brave new world, Sam.
Where you can...
A brave new world where no one dies and nothing is sacred.
Yeah.
Everyone. Oh, doesn't matter if you were in one movie, we can just bring you back with computers.
Weird. I don't like it.
I can't wait for the first time one of these like computers gets nominated for like a best actor thing. Like, who do you credit for that? Who would you give an award to?
Didn't Sony try to do that like a while ago with their Final Fantasy movie? Like, didn't they try to create digital actors with like names and personalities and everything that would be cast in movies? And then like it didn't go anywhere. They were only in the one Final Fantasy movie that Sony made. But like, I think they tried to make a digital actor thing.
It's like.
I mean, heck, isn't that what like Hatsune Miku is? Is she not just a digital actress, pop star person?
It's so weird.
Oh, I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, right?
No.
Okay, follow me on Twitter. I tweeted earlier today, NFT VTubers.
What?
You know what a VTuber is?
Yeah.
You know what an NFT is?
Yeah, but how would that even work?
NFT VTuber clothes,
like you buy
avatars,
like you're buying merch.
Exactly. If the pop star's not real,
then
make the merch not real, but cost real money. You mongoid brain right there. Anyway,
whatever the VTuber's wearing in the video. Take that, say it's authentically worn by the VTuber, sell that for more money as an NFT.
Better yet, even humongoider brain idea. Underwear. VTuber NFT underwear.
Sam, we've reached a bold new market of crypto obsessed.
Iron Mouse, hit me up.
Crypto obsessed, desperate perverts.
What a strange time. Okay, the first person to make that is gonna make stupid money.
VTuber NFTs.
Yeah, VTuber underwear NFTs.
Apparently, NFT like popularity is already like on a decline.
Well, yeah, because people hate them. But like, the whole point of it, the whole thing with NFTs is the first person to do a thing is gonna make all the money. It's generally what the trend has been so far. I think we should mint it. I think we should do it ourselves. If they're not going to do it, someone has to.
Media's new
business venture.
New NFT pump and dump scheme.
VTuber underwear NFTs. Guys, they really wore it. Even though they're not real.
No, they're not real. And neither is this drawing of it.
This is what happens when we have
real money's real.
This is what we have. This is what happens when we have no news. We just start talking about
VTuber speaking of
underwear.
news,
remember that episode where we talked about Blue's Clues for like 20 minutes?
No, that was just a car ride. HBO Max and Discovery Plus.
So we have to scroll down on the docket so the audience can see.
No, they're not.
And also,
Tucker, have you ever tried
Podcasting 101?
Tucker, when the podcast is uploaded, it's only in 360p for like the first 24 hours, and you can't read what's on the TV screen. So,
but it won't be in 360p later.
Yeah, but we get all of our views in like the first 2 days.
Then why don't you schedule it?
Because that doesn't. It's the processing of the video. They won't process it until it's up.
I'll tell you this after.
It's not important. Anyway, HBO Max and Discovery Plus will merge into one service that will be reworked.
So HBO Max and Discovery, right? Mm-hmm. And then Discovery Plus, they're going to merge into one streaming service because Discovery and Warner Brothers are merging. So the merger's almost complete.
Are they merging, or is Warner Brothers just buying them?
So Warner Media was owned by AT&T bought Warner Media like 3 years ago, really recently. and they spent like $70 billion on it, and they like redid all the executives and who was in charge of what.
They gutted and redid the company.
They gutted and redid everything, and then they launched HBO Max, which was supposed to be
Their
the
big
big
service,
new thing,
yeah.
right? That was supposed to drive AT&T and Warner
Into the future.
integration, right?
Yeah.
And then that service didn't do well because they didn't have any money
Or content.
to produce original content.
Well, no, they had a lot of content. No one cared.
But they didn't have enough. They didn't have the money to produce like big budget original content because they had spent all of their money on merging.
Yeah.
So, and AT&T realized they had pretty much absolutely 0 point in owning an entertainment studio at all. So they're selling off. They're kind of selling off Warner Media. They will still technically own it, but they're looking for someone else to buy it. But they're selling it off to Discovery, who are then going to merge it with themselves.
How on earth how does Discovery have the money to do that?
Discovery is huge.
Are they?
They're a huge company
What do they do other than the Discovery Network?
because they own like a million like publishing imprints, and like they get like a lot of money from the government because of all like education work. They
Oh
do
yeah, I
and
guess
stuff.
they do like grant research and stuff like that.
And they have like a bunch of money from PBS and stuff. But like, no, Discovery is a really big company, and so just they're merging with Discovery. They're going to be Warner Bros. Discovery now.
I don't understand how Discovery and Warner
the
Bros. are the
CEO
same.
of Discovery is now going to be. They're kicking the CEO of Warner Media out and replacing him with the Discovery CEO because people like him better, and because the Warner Media CEO was the idiot who decided to do that whole day and date HBO Max thing that
Everyone loved
lost
that.
the company literal billions of dollars.
Everyone loved that. Though.
Yeah, and so they're kicking him out, and this guy's going to be in charge, and he's going to redo how their entire business, how everything is structured.
Yeah.
Like he wants to just go in and like gut this, move this. He's going to probably rework how DC is doing stuff even creatively.
Good, more DC restructuring.
Yeah,
just what we needed.
No, but yeah, so they're going to merge HBO Max and Discovery Plus into one service. It'll be their big service.
Yeah.
Which means you'll finally be able to watch Titans season 4 and 90 Day Fiance on the same app. Sam.
Okay.
Now,
I'd be fine with that.
now, you know something else I realized too. So they're merging.
They own TLC?
The Discovery does.
Yeah.
So they're merging HBO Max and Discovery Plus, right?
Yeah.
But Warner Media also owns CNN.
Do?
Yes. All of CNN's original content was on HBO Max, but they've now removed all of it to put on CNN Plus. So while they're merging two of their pre-existing streaming services, they're also pooling content off to launch a separate streaming service.
So
That'll cost a different monthly fee.
Who's buying CNN Plus? Just follow them on Twitter and you're good.
Or just
They
don't.
publish all their content for free.
Maybe Brian Stelter is planning on buying 8 subscriptions.
You
for
can just
himself.
go on their website and read all of their news
Well,
for
also,
free.
like, no one's going to watch CNN produce documentaries that aren't just there for them to watch for free.
Yeah, people watch those because
No
they're
one's
there.
going out of their way to watch those.
No one's like, oh man, I'm a really big fan of
or going
CNN
out of their
produced
way,
documentaries.
or going out of their way because they're like, oh, Chris Wallace is hosting a news show here. I do love Chris Wallace.
Ooh, I gotta go see him.
No, they're just like, they turn on the
The
news.
news
and
is
he's
on.
Just the
and
one
Chris
hosting.
Wallace is on the TV screen. Yeah.
Anyway, but this is so honestly expect a lot of turnover how Warner Media is functioning.
The real
Even before this streaming service merger, expect HBO Max to change names.
the
it's a
important
terrible
question
name.
is, will we still get free HBO Max
With AT&T.
with AT&T?
Now that's the big question.
That's the real
Because
big
they
one.
still technically own part of it, I think we might for now.
And isn't it in our like contract?
Yeah, do they owe it to us? They at least better decrease the price if we don't get it for free.
Yeah, maybe they'll give us. Well, I don't think we'd buy.
I don't
it
know.
even
Will
if
we
they
get
did.
like AT&T cable for free? that they don't even provide to our area?
Yeah. Ooh, well, they might now.
Do they do now?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. We don't have cable.
We've changed locations.
Who needs
since we
cable?
last checked? Alrighty. On to the movie news.
Sam, we got 2 trailers for kids' films.
We've got Puss in Boots: The Last
Sam,
Let me get it pulled up.
11 years since Puss in Boots 1.
Which means if you were 10 when the first one came out, you are 21
now
now.
21. You can legally drink in the sequel.
You can drink in the theater for this movie. That is... I didn't think about that until just now. That's
Wait,
insane.
Pause real quick. Oh, mute that. Pause that, though.
What?
Do they serve alcohol to you if you're going into a kid's film?
I think, yeah, you
In
can just
movie
buy
theaters?
it at the concession stand and then just buy the ticket after.
That is a scary loophole.
Is it a loophole? Are you not allowed to serve alcohol if you're in a kid's movie? I don't think there's any law against it.
I think they should give it out for free for parents going to the Minions sequel.
Especially for, Puss in Boots too,
No, but Sam, it's been 11 long years since we received content in the Shrek universe.
The last
finally
movie
back.
being Puss in Boots, the first one.
That's right.
Which is one of the best movies in their franchise.
Puss in Boots is
it's
the
at
only
least
good
better-
Shrek-related movie.
It's better than
No.
half of the
Yep.
Shrek movies.
Yep.
Not
nope.
true.
Shrek is garbage.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the Shrek movies are terrible.
Shrek 2 and 4 are very good.
No, they're
Yes, so then it's better than half of them.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, no, you might be right. It might be better than Shrek 1.
Yeah.
I don't think Shrek 1
I'd argue it's better than
great.
all
Shrek
of them.
1 was
Shrek 1
an experiment.
Shrek 1 was like really, really, really important and like popular for that time because of just where everything was and how pop culture was.
Yeah.
Shrek 2 is genuinely good, and so is Shrek 4. Shrek 3 is not good. And then Puss in Boots is a pretty good movie.
Puss in Boots is just the Zorro movie that they never made that the moms wanted.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Well, probably
Okay,
because
well,
we
get a
eat
napkin and
McDonald's
wipe
every
the
time we
ketchup off.
record
All right.
these.
Anyway, let's keep playing
But
the trailer
Sam,
so I don't know
they've
if you guys
changed
can see especially well, but yeah, the art
animation style.
is just completely different.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Aside from Puss in Boots' model, which
No,
looks
they
pretty
even
much the
changed
same.
him.
Yeah, they changed him slightly, but he's
Look at the
like,
after
if you
They
look
made
at-
everyone's eyes bigger.
if you
can
look at the
tell.
way that
Yeah.
the humans are shaded
Yeah.
and the way that he's shaded.
And like, look at the frame rate for everyone's movie.
Yeah, there's also a variable frame
I
rate,
think they're-
which is interesting.
I think they wanted to make it look like Spider-Verse or like Arcane.
it looks more anime.
It looks. They want to do the popular art style right
Yeah.
now, which is to
after
merge
this, look up the
the
trailer for the old
2D
ones.
and
we
the-
heard
It's
them.
it's the 3D
it's
models
the 3D
with the 2D shading.
with the 2D shading.
Yeah. It looks fine,
And it's also a lot brighter, like
Yeah,
a million
significantly
times
so.
brighter.
which I'm not a huge fan
Part
of.
of the bit of the first Puss in Boots was that it was like a dumb kid's story, but like it was like it
told
looked
in a very serious
it looked
tone.
like a serious. It was,
Yeah.
The bit was that it looked serious, but
It was a
this
stupid story in a serious world.
but this looks more like a straightforward like dumb kids movie.
Yeah, which is a little disappointing.
Which,
and also, they introduced this gimmick of him dying. This was not in the first one at all. That's just not a thing that he does. He's not known for that. It's
Is
not
this
really,
thing from the actual fairy tale? Maybe.
No, this is just a thing they made up for the movie.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense for the story they're going for. It's that he's run out of.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Lives
It's a
and
funny idea.
He's got to learn to be less reckless.
Yeah,
He's got
it's a
one
fun
life
idea
left.
that a cat has 9 lives and this one's on his last one, so
And
he's
they
got to
have
make a count or whatever.
there is Salma Hayek's back as was the cat from the first one.
But yeah, the fact that they're keeping character continuity,
At
but
least some of it, yeah.
but changing art style, changing format, changing like the
also, is this
storytelling.
still a prequel to Shrek? Because the first one's a prequel to Shrek.
Yeah,
2.
that's true. I don't know.
Is it? And they say it's another. It's in the same universe still.
Is the Netflix show canon? Are any of these characters from the Netflix show? I haven't seen any of the Netflix show.
I know. Yeah, that's what they're going. They're making it look like more like the Netflix show, which I know ran for like 4 seasons or something.
And that one's art style was more,
that was more similar to this. Yeah,
but that's because it had to be less expensive.
and it was also for even littler kids.
Yeah.
So,
Sam, look up the trailer for the old ones so we can compare them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
but yeah. Puss in Boots 2. Why now?
How is it that it's taken them this long? Like, I know they said before, like, that they had a lot of issues with, like, in the scripting.
Oh yeah, development's been taking forever.
It's had a horrible development cycle from what we've been told.
For our YouTube watchers.
But yeah, this looks like Batman.
Right now, we're showing the
This
trailer
looks
for
like
the original,
Skyrim.
Yeah.
the original Puss in Boots movie, and like you can look like the lighting's more darker, it's more dynamic.
It honestly looks...
The human characters are a little
It
bit more
looks better.
realistic.
The cinematography, look at the shot. the shot composition is just better.
And yeah, you can look. They've made his hat bigger on the newer one. They made his eyes bigger. He's a brighter color.
Oh, they kept that font the same, which is weird.
Yeah. Anyway, Sam, would you like more movies in the universe of Shrek?
I mean,
Because that appears to be what they're setting
I've
up.
never been a huge Shrek fan. I've seen like the first Shrek and Puss in Boots, and that's basically it.
They're not bringing. Did Humpty Dumpty die at the end of the first one?
No, he's
I don't think he
No.
dies.
Because he's not in the newer
But
one.
I think he goes
just
to live
fell
in.
off a cliff.
No, I think he just goes to live in the egg heaven or whatever, right?
Right.
Oh, right. No, he gets stuck. He gets greedy when they go in like the clouds or something, and then I think he gets trapped there or something. Because remember
That's
they
a joke about him almost getting hit in the balls, but he doesn't have balls.
they have
Yeah,
to
makes
they have to go
sense.
get like the golden goose egg.
I think he just goes to live with the goose or something. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter.
Nine.
So I guess they said 9 lives,
but it does not play into the story.
but it doesn't. They don't bring it up again.
To be fair, we haven't seen the movie in like forever, so
Yeah. Puss in Boots 2, is it going to do well? That's the real question. Does anyone care?
It'll do fine. Millennials really like Shrek, and they have
That's
enough
true.
money to go see movies. They are starved for
I'll
Shrek
go
content.
see it. I'll go see it because I want them to just bite the bullet and just make Shrek 5.
Honestly, I think the new art style would serve Shrek better than it would serve Puss in
Yeah,
Boots.
if they're, I think
let's watch
I-
the trailer for
I think
Snow
that-
Queen.
I think this is a test.
I
Oh no,
think
that's
that-
just the
I
movie
think
for
that
Snow Queen.
cel-shaded art style would fit Shrek a lot better because the world of Shrek is a lot brighter and a lot more colorful.
Mm-hmm.
It's more cynical in delivery, but it's a lot more colorful in
Yeah.
presentation.
I think this is a test. I think they
Yeah.
want to see how much energy is left in this. Because if you remember, 2010
Shrek was
DreamWorks.
huge.
Shrek was the cash cow,
Mhm.
man. Shrek was everywhere. He was the face of the studio.
Yeah,
That franchise was like their bread and butter.
yeah.
So I think they want to see how much gas is left in this.
Before the cart
and
eventually careens off a
if
cliff.
this does well, I fully expect them to do Shrek 5
Yeah,
and to get that cast back to do another one of that, and then if that does well, they'll announce like the Pinocchio spinoff,
I think we'll abandon the numbering.
the Donkey spinoff.
I think we'll just
They
start
already
seeing
have.
Shrek, the pickled Piper's penis fell off movie. Whatever they'll just start subtitling.
Because they had plans to reboot it, like fully reboot it with Illumination taking over.
Yeah, that
But that
obviously
fell
never
through.
happened. And
Um,
thank God,
Thank God that happened.
because Illumination is not exactly known
I
for
don't
their
know,
quality
Sam. They got
filmmaking.
Mario. They got Mario.
Minions.
That still makes no sense to me.
Hey, because Shigeru liked the producer.
Okay, but to be fair, Illumination's gimmick of we make 5 character models and use them for every character
Yeah.
works for Mario.
Because they're all the
Because
same.
there's like 5 unique characters and everyone else is the same
Everyone
mushroom.
else is a Goomba.
Yeah, everyone else is a Goomba or a mushroom
Dude.
dude.
Mushroom Man.
Anyway, I think it'll be fine.
I think it'll be fine. It looks okay.
I like the
the
new
art style is good. It's just different.
I just don't know why they chose
I don't
this
know if-
movie to
I
use
don't-
it in
Yeah, or why they decided to shift it
in
so
tone
dramatically.
so drastically. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
There was a final trailer for that.
I've actually
about a
seen
month
it.
out from the actual movie coming out in April, and then along with that, they revealed the new poster,
Which is super cool.
which
We
is
can get into
super
that in a
cool. It
minute.
looks like the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 game poster from the Sega Genesis.
When
but
does
in
Puss in Boots come
live
out?
action? Puss in Boots is going to come out in September.
Here it is, final
Oh,
trailer.
no.
So Sonic is a bit of an interesting franchise, and we were talking about this
Off camera.
off camera before.
This
This is the
movie-
most faithful video game movie adaptation we've seen, like, ever, I think. Like, what other movie video game franchises really capture the spirit of the game like this one does?
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was talking about is I don't think I've seen a franchise shift so dramatically in fan perception.
Yeah.
Like I've seen the Sonic movies. Like the first trailer for the first one was met with such like vitriolic anger.
Yeah.
And everyone hated it, and everyone was like, "What is this?" And then they shifted the design. The movie came out. People thought it was okay. And then when they're doing 2, they're just like, we're just going to do the game now. We're doing big robots, Chaos Emeralds, Knuckles, Tails. They all look cartoony.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing a spin dash and hovering with green lightning bolts. Like, there's just
Dr. Eggman is a big goofy,
Eggman
nutty
he's got the
guy.
big mustache. Like, they're just doing the games now.
They even got Sonic's owl dad or mom, whoever the owl is that raised him or something, right? That's the story. Whatever. Yeah, it looks.
This movie looks
it looks
okay.
fun. It'll be
it
fun.
looks about as good as the first one, which was okay.
Which was fine. I
which
mean,
was fine. Which was literally
compared to our expectations,
exceeded expectations.
it might as well have been in like a Best Picture award-winning masterpiece compared to what our expectations of the movie were.
Of what anyone who thought when they heard Sonic the Hedgehog live-action film.
I also think
would
it's funny that they've sort of made Sonic into like a
Kids Deadpool.
like a kid's. Well, he's like a big comic book fan. Like that's his
Yeah.
thing. If you remember in the first one, he had a bunch of comic books in his little like
Yeah,
hole
he
in the
had, like,
ground that he was
Flash
living
comics.
in. And I think it's kind of funny we're seeing that continue with him. Like he references the Winter Soldier when he's
Yeah.
fighting Knuckles. He references Batman constantly in the trailer.
Beating up criminals. It's like this has turned into something like much weirder than everyone thought it would be.
The only question remaining is, will he eat a chili dog?
Does he do he one in the
He
first one?
orders one in the first one, but I don't think he ever eats
in
it.
the trailer. On the house rooftop.
Oh yeah, he does.
Oh,
eat a
yeah, he
chili
does
dog.
eat a
No,
chili
the real
dog.
question is, will Big the Cat be in it?
What
the
on
next
earth
one.
is? What is YouTube recommended? What is YouTube recommended? All right. But yeah, I'm more excited for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 than I am for any other movie that's like coming out in the next like 6 months.
Everyone like moved everything. Everything's coming out at the end of the year now. Like we even that we're finally seeing the COVID production delays.
Yeah. Which is so weird because with gaming, everything that was scheduled is coming out like now, basically.
Yeah.
Like we saw Arceus, we saw Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out later this year. Bayonetta 3's been out.
For gaming, this is packed.
Yeah.
And then for movies, we're like,
there's nothing
our
going
next
on.
big release is the Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock team comedy romance
and
film.
Morbius.
And Morbius.
The Marvel Legend.
Because like last year, it was jam packed because we had new stuff and stuff that got delayed just coming out one after each other. Like remember in October where we had like 2 major releases a week in theaters?
Yeah.
Now we're like 4 weeks till Morbius.
Yay!
Ooh. Like
once Batman came out, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
That's all we
I'm
got.
honestly a bit sick of Marvel stuff right now.
Well, good. This is a great time then, because there's no
nothing.
Marvel content until Doctor Strange.
Oh, until Moon Knight.
Yeah, but Moonlight.
Yeah. Moon Knight
I don't
looks.
know, I think I'm more sick of
different.
just the multiverse stuff. Like, oh, look at this random other version.
That's their next big thing, Max. That's their next Thanos.
Max. That's
Their
the
next
future
Thanos.
of cinema.
Their next Thanos isn't a villain. Their next Thanos is the multiverse.
Their next Thanos is just to look at all of these things you remember.
Yeah.
You notice when
Look, it's Morbius. He's in the multiverse now.
We're gonna run out of things to reference.
When will Morbius cameo in the MCU?
Never.
Oh, he will eventually. Eventually, the multiverse will bring them together.
Venom
Tucker.
was in the MCU.
Maybe
Yeah,
it'll be
Venom was there.
Morbius is
Look,
in
we thought
Venom.
Venom was super stupid when the first Venom came out. Now look,
But people
he's
like
canon now.
people like Tom Hardy as that character. No
People are gonna
everyone's
like Jared
gonna
Leto.
like
as-
Jared Leto as
There
Morbius.
are syncopantic Jared Leto fans that
Yeah,
will.
No, I
those
guarantee
people are
you.
members of his weird cult.
Yeah,
Sam.
and they'll think he's great in this movie.
No, all the superhero TikToks will be like, when I was a kid, this was my favorite.
Yeah, no,
superhero."
This is my favorite
This is my
Marvel
favorite
vampire
Marvel
character. Out of the 3 of them that there are,
he was
truly
in one
is
episode
a
of the
Marvel
Spider-Man cartoon, and I've loved him ever since.
he's my best friend.
When we're in like 20 years, when we're just digging the bottom of the barrel for comic book
We
stuff.
already are. We're at that point now.
No, but when
Morbius is getting
That's
a
true.
movie.
No, but like when we're doing the Condiment King live action film, right? Everyone's gonna they're still gonna be doing that. Everyone's gonna be like, I used to love Condiment King when I was a kid.
We're very quickly approaching that time. I mean, Peacemaker got a show. The Suicide Squad is basically already that. It just focuses on the main ones. But once those main ones sort of start to fade a little bit, they're going to turn to the nutty, goofy guys more, which they're already doing.
We're getting
some
a Wonder
stuff.
Twins movie.
Exactly. Like
Aquaman has 2 movies.
We've hit the bottom of the barrel. We're scraping through the barrel into the deck of the ship underneath.
We're sinking the boat.
Yeah.
They're doing a Ms.Marvel show.
Well, she's a very popular character in the comics.
What you should have said is we're doing a She-Hulk show.
Yeah.
She-Hulk show.
She-Hulk.
That's a character that has never been popular.
No, because it's just girl Hulk.
She's not even the Hulk. She's
Her
just a green
No, her
lawyer who's a
original-
regular person.
Her original bit in the comics was that like it's Hulk, but instead of getting big and angry and with big muscles, she just gets big and tall and it is a model.
And is still normal, basically. Okay.
It's slightly more muscular.
In
She-Hulk-
recent years, they've made her just Hulk, but a girl.
She-Hulk has only sold because people are like, ooh, sexy green lady.
No, that was her bit in the comics. Was that Hulk is big and muscular, but She-Hulk gets sexy.
Yeah, Hulk turns into like a tumorous mass of muscular, like muscles, and she turns into like
And she
a
gets
sexy
bigger
green lady.
boobs.
Yeah. Like the character has always been so
Because
dumb.
that was comics.
Yeah.
For a long time in the comics, it was, how do we introduce a new character? How about the main character, but it's a girl now?
Yeah. Or how about just
Who's Superman's new sidekick? How about Supergirl? Who's
okay.
Batman's sidekick? How about Batgirl?
Yeah.
Who's Shazam's sidekick? Mary Marvel. It's like it was just a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sam, speaking of superheroes,
More again still.
Sean Levy is going to direct Deadpool 3.
Not
After
surprised.
working with Ryan Reynolds on Adam Project and Free Guy. He directed both of
Yeah,
those.
this shouldn't surprise anyone.
No, it makes sense. And he's fine. He's a fine director. He's
Yeah,
done
because
good
he just
stuff.
lets Ryan Reynolds direct the movie, and he just has to sort of sit there.
This is the third different director they've had on these. They've switched every time
I think this is the one they'll stick with. 'Cause Ryan Reynolds and him are buddies now.
Friends. And now the thing here is Sean Levy's never made an R-rated movie before.
That's fine.
Do you think they're gonna bite? Do you think they will pull it and make this PG-13? Do you think Marvel will demand this PG-13?
I don't think they will, because the brand is already R.
Yeah,
Like even if they make it
they did do that.
PG-13,
They did do the test with the PG-13 cut of Deadpool 2 already,
yeah, and that was like,
and that was
fine.
like semi well received.
But like the Deadpool, his whole brand is like rated R.
Yeah,
Like even if you make the movie PG-13, the kid fans will have nowhere to go after that.
the problem that they'll run into is the Marvel Studios band strictly in a brand? Is that going to be a PG-13? Because that's either going to be on this and this be PG-13, or it won't be and this will be R.
Yeah, I feel like it could go either way, because they could fully
Because Kevin
embrace it.
Feige's involved.
Yeah, they could
Like, they're
fully
doing
embrace it
this.
and be like, yeah, Deadpool's in the MCU now.
Yeah.
Or they could try to keep it more distant and be like, this is a Fox thing, guys.
I feel like it would be harder to be like, Deadpool's actually for kids now, guys, to pull that,
Yeah.
rather than just be like, you can't take your kids to this Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But along with Sean Levy directing, the 1 and 2 writers, Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, have been hired to rewrite the script that was done by the Mullenix sisters, who were Bob's Burgers writers. They started the script last year, and they
See
brought in the
why
original
you
guys.
might want to change that.
I don't know why they brought in different people.
I don't know why you had the Bob's Burgers guys, right?
Well, it was two
Scripts.
ladies. I don't know.
I
They're
mean,
sisters.
guys colloquially, not like
Yeah.
literally the guys. My point is, why
I
were
think-
they writing
I don't
Deadpool?
know why they got different people, because Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, like the first 2 movies are fine.
Yeah, why would you change it and then change it to people who write Bob's Burgers? That would,
And then bring in the original people anyway.
yeah, that would be like, okay, guys, we're making Captain Marvel 2, and
Or-
the Steven Universe writers
or,
are taking over this
you know
one.
what? What if it was they hired them to do a PG-13 draft,
They decided they didn't want to
and
do
now
it.
they've decided it's R, and so they're bringing the original people back, and now they've fully decided on it.
Yeah, I mean that I could see that being the reason.
This has been floated as a PG-13. They've
Yeah.
definitely been debating this in house.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they have to be.
I'm sure Ryan Reynolds is advocating for the R, though. I think that's obvious. That's what fans want too.
And again, I feel like you
I
have
want
to
to see a censored Deadpool.
you have to be self-aware enough to know that, like, if you show a little kid Deadpool 3 and he likes Deadpool 3, he's gonna try to watch Deadpool 2 or Deadpool 1, and he's gonna. And
now
then,
they can't go on Disney Plus. Now these I don't know what the plot they're gonna do with these.
Doesn't really matter.
Because like they can't do. This is not gonna fold into the MCU at all. Like it's not gonna, especially if this is This is not gonna have any effect on anything else.
They might have it like a couple references every.
Do you think they'll just staunchly keep it in the Fox X-Men universe because we're now bringing in characters from that?
No, I think it will take place in the MCU, but I don't think they'll ever mention that. Sort of like the Jessica Jones show, where like it's in the MCU, but no one from the MCU is going to touch anyone from the show.
I'm just wondering what characters they'll even be able to use.
Because Jessica Jones was in the MCU and rated R, very rated R.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is because it'll be in the MCU now, what characters can you use? Because like. We don't even know how the X-Men exist in the MCU.
I don't think we'll bring in characters from the MCU into this. I'm
not saying that. I'm saying
I don't think we'll see any of those characters.
But like Deadpool supporting characters are X-Men characters, right? It's like Cable. Can you even do Cable in the MCU if we don't even know what the X-Men look like in the MCU at this point?
They could. Oh, this could be their multiverse for the X-Men.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, is this just going to stay?
This just is their multiverse thing for the X-Men.
I mean, I'm sure
they'll have. Here's how they'll
going to
do
show
it.
up and stuff.
Deadpool, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and Colossus will stumble through a multiverse hole and end up in the MCU, and that'll be like the main gist of the story.
Now, Kevin Feige has been voicing a lot about,
because that way you can have those three characters and not have to worry about,
you know what,
the X-Men don't really exist here.
I think they're just going to pool in all of the Fox characters into
all of them
permanently.
I don't think they have
because Kevin Feige's talked about his dedication to keeping the original actors in their roles, even if it's been 40 years or whatever, right?
They didn't do that with Quicksilver.
That's because they didn't really have a choice, and then they did the fake out in WandaVision. But
that's what I'm saying. They could have easily just done that.
He said what's his face? Like Patrick Stewart's coming back to play Professor X because he doesn't want to have anyone else do that.
Except for the guy who's already been doing
everybody. Do you just bring in the X-Men in the MCU now? It's just the X-Men from the Fox movie.
I don't think so. I think those characters might appear in multiverse content.
Well, they already are. Professor X.
I think they will eventually get their own Earth 9999 that version of them. That is that MCU person that is them.
Yeah, and Deadpool is just the same. And Colossus is
and then Deadpool, Colossus, and Warhead are just characters who are just stumbled permanently into this universe.
And half the jokes in the movie are going to be that he's in the MCU now.
Yeah, he's going to be like, "Wow, it smells brand friendly here," or something like that.
Anyway. Yep. Speaking of Marvel content, composer Michael I still don't know Giacchino? He did the score for the Batman. It's that guy. He does scores for everything. Has been hired to direct the Untitled Marvel Studios Halloween special starring Werewolf by Night.
What?
Yep. The special is set to film in Atlanta this month and is still scheduled to be released this year on Disney Plus, even though it has not even been officially confirmed to exist.
Have we ever had a composer direct a movie?
My question is, why is Marvel not acknowledging that they're doing this?
I think they'll ramp it up when they get closer to Halloween.
No, but they're about to shoot it. They've cast it. They've got a director on board. They've set a release date for it practically. They have, but they still haven't even come out and been we're doing a Werewolf by Night thing. It's weird.
Let's see. What has John Carpenter directed?
John Carpenter?
Yeah.
The director of the movie Halloween, Sam?
Yeah, that guy. Just Halloween? Is that it?
John Carpenter?
Yeah, that seems to be about it. Oh no, he directed The Thing.
One of the most famous film directors of all time?
The point is, he's also a composer. I was looking up other directors that are also composers.
No, this is because he's big friends with Disney and he wanted to break into directing things.
Except for he did the Batman and not the Disney, so that makes sense.
Yeah, but he's done Disney stuff too. He's doing Lightyear. Doing Lightyear later this year.
Interesting.
And he did the first Doctor Strange and he's done a lot of other stuff for them.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Cool.
Werewolf by Night, Sam. Woo.
Yay! As opposed to Werewolf by Day, his arch nemesis.
Yes.
Who's only a werewolf during the day.
He was actually my favorite superhero as a kid, and actually, I grew up with him, and he's probably one of the best.
Basically, Michael Jackson's my favorite.
No, Werewolf
Get it?
by,
The joke is he was a werewolf in that
Werewolf
music
by Night's
video.
bit is that you know how a werewolf when they transform they're like just like a brain dead wolf.
Uh-huh.
Werewolf by Night is smart when he's
So he's a smart werewolf.
yes. He remains his like normal level of intelligence.
But does he have a wolf brain when he's a regular person?
Oh, that'd be a good
That would be
bit.
more funny.
So
he
he's
just
like
becomes a
Einstein when
dog
he's
man.
a wolf. But
Yeah.
when he's a normal man, he's just like licking his own taint.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Very funny. Whew. Okay.
Rick and Morty reference.
Mick and Rorty reference. All right.
What is this show?
TikTok will partner with the Cannes Film Festival to allow creators to produce short films between 30 seconds and 3 minutes, with the best being recognized at the festival. Tucker, have you seen that one TikTok guy who actually makes like genuinely good like short films on TikTok?
Darman?
Not Darman. Max, do you know who I'm talking about? That one guy with the long hair and glasses who like he does those real close-up shots of him like looking out distantly into the distance and stuff like that. No, okay. Well, there's this one guy on TikTok who's basically actually producing like genuinely good short films on TikTok. I guarantee this only exists because some studio
No,
executive saw
Sam,
him.
this exists because Cannes Film Festival wants attention, and they think they're going to get it by having people do TikTok content for the kids.
That's a great. What a great
the young
thing.
people are using TikTok, and we got to capture that important demographic.
What a good time to be alive.
Yep. Well, I wouldn't say good. It's time
What
to
a
be
time
alive.
to be alive. What a good old
All right.
fashioned family Christmas.
Sam, let's talk about a film that came out a few days ago.
Mhm.
Disney Pixar's Turning Red
Yes.
was released on Disney Plus. What did you think of it?
I thought that it was pretty good. I like the art style a lot. I liked it better than I thought I would. I mean, it's a pretty generic story, all
Yeah.
things considered. It's even got the lie revealed, which I hate so much, but whatever. It's fine. It's a kid's movie. I like those things that I just said. Yeah, there's not a whole lot there. It's a pretty
I find
generic
it
movie.
funny that Disney released 3 movies in a row that were virtually all about the same things.
Yup.
We had Luca, which was about a little boy hiding that he turned into a monster,
Mhm.
and about how his family put pressure on him to not reveal that he was a monster. And then we had Encanto, which was about a girl who was feeling pressure from her grandmother, and had to like do some stuff, whatever Encanto was about. But it was about familial pressure, right? And then we had Turning Red, which was another movie about a kid who had to hide the fact that they were a monster and was facing pressure from their family.
Except
Yeah.
for not the dad though. The dad was just there. He had like 2 lines.
Yeah, the dad really didn't do
The
anything.
dad was literally just like,
Okay,
No,
cool.
they have that one scene in the
Yeah, they have
bedroom.
that one
the
scene.
one scene.
He talks to her once
No, he just finds the
and
camera.
solves basically all her problems. She is freaking out the entire movie because of her mom, her grandma,
Yeah.
And her
all
dad
of
just
her
doesn't.
female relatives, and then one conversation with her dad, and she's like, "You know what?
You're right.
You're right. I am gonna just not do anything they said."
So, Sam, this film is the first Pixar movie made pretty much entirely by women in all of the major leadership roles. And the director, can you guess, grew up in 2003 Toronto, Canada.
How could you have? How could anyone have known?
Did she turn into a panda?
Did she have the power to transform into a mythical red monster?
Yeah, anyway, I thought this movie
She's not
was
a
pretty
monster.
good.
Yeah, I thought it was
It was
good.
fine. It was short.
They got the early 2000s vibe down very good.
Yep, it was fine. The character's likable enough.
I feel like they also did a very good job of capturing like the feelings of being in school at that time, or like that age. They capture that age very well.
Yes. I also like how they do the group dynamic between
Yeah, I like
those
the
4 friends.
The friend group is great.
Yeah.
I love the friend group. In
I
this
like
movie.
that. One, I like that they're all like separate personality wise, and I also like that like they're not like unnecessarily mean to each other
they're-
for no reason.
They're simple. They genuinely seem like friends, not just like a group
Yeah.
of toxic people that make fun of each other all the time. And they're their personalities don't cannibalize each other.
Yeah.
Like there's the one like really aggressive, like chubbier girl who's like just a crackhead basically.
Yeah.
There's like the one with braces who's sort of like the definitely gonna do drugs when she gets to high school. There, there's and then there's the quieter.
There's crazy,
like
quiet,
more book nerdy girl,
like
Yeah.
happy, and then nerd.
But yeah, I mean I feel like they did a very good job with
That's
the
like
with
that's
the friend group.
very true to that time.
Yeah,
Like your friends at that point are all people who like will eventually grow into very separate people and how they function. So I like that they portray that group in that way where they're all different, but like they're all friends and they all like have
Yeah.
the stuff that they all unite around. It's fine. It's a fine movie. There's not a whole lot to say about it.
it's very generic.
Some of the criticism or response to the criticism in quotes that I've been seeing is really dumb. It seems like a movie where people are just desperately trying to find stuff to argue about.
Desperately trying to make it a controversy when it's really just
Literally
not that
I
anything
big
feel like
of a
people
deal.
have forgotten that kids' movies are for kids, and that they're
Or
not
that-
like Oscar-worthy movies.
Okay, let's take your average 13-year-old who the movie so blatantly is catering towards. I think they say she's 13
she's
like more than
literally
13
13,
times. Like that's like they really want you to know she's 13. Most of the people in that age group, you're sort of starting to become aware of the sort of like political undertones to things, but that's clearly not your driving force when interacting with media
Or anything.
or really anything. I feel like people just need to calm down, and not everything is everyone is developing English teacher complexes where
Yeah.
every detail is a
teacher
thing.
complex.
Not every detail is a thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just the way that they just happen to decide they
Yeah.
wanted it to be.
That's another thing that I hate. It's mostly on TikTok, which I know is stupid.
TikTok's a mess.
But like
yeah.
everyone overanalyzes everything, specifically in Marvel, because they're like
Anything Disney, really.
really anything Disney. But I always see Marvel stuff, and it's like in this part of the movie, blah blah says this, which correlates to this 5 movies
You can see that
after.
Spider-Man's suit is red, which is actually a reference to Uncle
Yeah.
Ben's blood. It's like, no, his suit's red because it looks cool.
Red.
It's red because
it's
Stanley
red.
decided it should be
What
red.
I'm talking about is like I saw some stuff where people were like, it was like articles about like there's people been criticizing Turning Red, but they don't understand the movie because it's not for them. And that's the thing I hate. That sentence in regard to movies
The
is
movie's not for you.
my
Yeah.
least favorite thing. Like that you can say about a movie. The entire idea of cinema is that it is a group of people's expression of an outlook on life.
Yeah.
And the idea of that expression is to get people to either sympathize or empathize or to understand a different point of view.
Or
That
to,
is the entire
or to
point of
dislike
art
a
in
certain
general.
point of view.
Yeah, it's just to understand it and see it.
It's to expose you to a story.
Yeah,
That is the point.
if your movie is made for 4 people and anyone who mildly dislikes it and you blame it because it's not for them, is the dumbest way to respond to criticism. It's the dumbest way to hate something.
No one who makes a movie is ever going to say the movie's not for you unless
Yeah.
they genuinely already hated you before they made it.
Or to say
That's
that
like
you don't
going-
like something because the movie itself is not for you.
It's
Like
like,
that's
going
also
to
not a thing.
Yeah.
It's like going to a Marvel movie and you see this nice little grandma walking in, and you go, "Hey, this movie's not for you because you're too old to understand this.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is for young people who like comic books."
It's
Like,
like
that's kind of
you
that
and a
dumb
girl in
thing.
the early 2000s and who's 13. You don't understand this character. It's like
You
no.
didn't have a
it's okay.
Tamagotchi.
If
And-
the
and if you-
character
and if I-
is so poorly written that
Yeah.
anyone other
And-
than
and if
the
I-
exact thing they
Yeah.
are can't sympathize with it, then that's a poorly written character.
then that's what makes it bad.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of stuff like that. I saw a lot of people overreading literally every single element of the film, overreacting to elements of it, of being like this movie's bad because it says that you shouldn't listen to your parents. And I'm like, no.
Except for
Clearly
That's
missed to the point.
not
except
what
for
it's saying.
the first line of the movie is that she says that she respects her parents and so should everyone else. And throughout the movie, she still says that you should still respect her parents. Like the whole message at the end was like she's changing because she's getting older, but she still wants to respect her mom
Yeah.
because she's her mom. Like that. They
Again,
never
that was
say
just
to
an example of
disrespect
a criticism, but yeah.
Yeah.
The response to this has been much dumber than I expect it to be, and I think it's because there's not a lot like going on right now. Right?
I think
In
it's
terms of-
because
People are arguing about wheels and
we
doors.
are a
so yeah.
horrible group to point this out.
Yeah.
But I think it's because too many people's opinions are being heard about things. I feel like before, you didn't get exposed to every single person's take on everything.
yeah.
You heard a select group of people's takes. If you didn't agree with it, you didn't agree with it, and you mainly discussed it amongst your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every single 12-year-old in their middle school didn't have
Has
a
an
TikTok
iPhone.
account with 50,000 followers
When it's
and the
like
ability to express a very stupid take to millions at the push of a
Yeah.
button.
and everyone's like on the internet, it's all algorithms catered to you. So everyone you're seeing has the same ideas
Yeah, echo
as
chambers form very
you.
quickly.
So
but
yeah, so it's like, oh, everyone's
and
saying
again,
this.
but
we're
the
a
real-
horrible group to point this out because, you know, we are extremely small influencers who are giving our opinions to people out there.
No, but like the
Sponsored by McDonald's.
the idea of how this should work, right, is that one, you either don't have an opinion on a thing at all, and it doesn't matter to you, so just move on with your life.
Yeah,
Two, you have an opinion, you say it, and you just keep going. And if people disagree with you, they can go to I don't like it. I think that's wrong, but whatever. I don't care.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. Or they just have a conversation about it, they talk about what they liked, what they didn't like, which is what the idea should be. Every movie review or whatever should just be an open discussion on what the movie was and how much you liked it or what you didn't like about it. The dumbest thing is that it just becomes this like vague mob war between like publishers on the internet and like Twitter people.
Yeah.
And like one person sees a tweet, and so they think 80 people think the same thing, and so they publish an article debunking one tweet that they think represents
Which is really
hundreds
just
of people,
from like
which
Dale,
is really just one guy.
Dale who tweeted it in his pickup truck at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
And
it's-
another thing is like, people think that opinions are either you love it or you hate it. So it's like there's no in between. There's not like I didn't like this part, but I liked this part. It's like
Well, that's
this
just
movie sucks.
because most social medias are short form, like tweets are short form, TikToks are
Yeah.
short form.
internet is hyperbole.
So most of what you interact with, you have to assume a lot in order to really get the most out of your content. But when you extrapolate that into a debate, obviously that causes huge problems because you're assuming more than you've been given. Again, that's a more broad issue than we're talking about here. But
The point is that
It was a decent
why was one panda bigger than the other pandas?
yeah, that seems grossly unfair.
That's right. That's OP.
Why did one of them be a kaiju and all the other ones were like 8
Regular
feet tall?
size.
Like slightly taller than could fit in a door.
Why was it like that?
Why? Who
Why
ma-
was the boy band? Why was their songs written by Billie Eilish? Did you notice that?
I did not know that their songs were written by Billie
Yep,
Eilish.
written by Billie
Is
Eilish.
it a song that was popular before the movie came
No,
out?
they wrote songs specifically for the boy band in the movie.
And we never even heard the whole song.
And what's her brother who writes all of the music is
Yeah.
the voice of one of them
Oh, good for him.
or all of them or something. I don't know. Anyway, the
But
point
what
is,
about that the Quickie Mart guy?
Different.
Devin.
Is that his name?
I think so. Was
Like
his
the
name
part where
Devin?
she says "awooga"?
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Awooga.
Yeah, that was a great
That was
scene.
good. Great scene.
Yeah, the movie's fine. The movie's
It's
good.
a fine. And you know what? Not everything is important.
Yeah,
Some movies can come out and then they go away, and it's fine.
this is gonna be one of those.
Don't get in a fight about it. It just happens.
It's not that big of a deal.
And you know what? Just move on.
Every movie is unique, but
You
that
don't
doesn't
need to
mean
make
it's
9 TikToks
it's not-
about it
it's not
over
the most
analyzing
important thing
the
in the
frames.
different opinion. No one can disagree with me.
It's not really our point, but okay. Yeah, it's just not that
Turning
important,
red.
guys. Calm down.
It's fine.
It's a movie for 13-year-olds. You're not
It's a-
13.
it's
You're
a
like
kid's
you're like
film.
24. Go touch grass. Not that
Go
not
outside.
that big
We'll
of a
make
deal.
some
Eat a
friends.
sandwich. Go buy a shirt.
It says turning red on it.
Just walk around.
And then
Walk around.
yeah, just Yeah, touch grass.
Just
basically.
get off your phone for 10 minutes.
Get off your phone.
Also, don't
Go
wear a
outside.
bucket
Stop
hat.
watching this podcast.
Turn off this podcast.
Turn off this
Yeah, it's not
podcast.
even
Go
that good,
outside.
man.
Go
Go
take a
outside.
walk.
Take a walk.
It's not important.
Unless
Unless
Anyways,
it's like 12 a.m.
continuing the podcast.
It's a nice day outside. It's not a nice
what's
day
next-
outside.
What's next on the
Well, it's
docket?
nighttime.
Go watch Boy Meets
anything?
World.
What else we got here?
Oh, we can.
We got
review
some.
Dog.
We got some rumor time, real quick. Oh, I guess we could review Dog. Well, you guys want to
No,
talk
I
about
don't.
Dog?
I don't care.
It's all right.
I mean, I
It's
think
not great.
I have more thoughts on Dog than I do about Turning Red.
All right, express your thoughts on Dog.
No.
we got time. It's
Moral of the
8
story
o'clock.
about Dog is you shouldn't see it. It's not worth the money. And our theater experience was terrible.
Why? What happened?
There was like a family or like a group behind us or next to
It
us.
was to the right of us.
To the right of us. It was two parents and their kids, and like they had a little boy and a little girl, and the little boy was like literally running around the theater, like up
Great.
and down the stairs, and he was like talking the whole time. He was like teasing his sister. He was like intentionally being annoying, and his parents were literally egging him on.
And we took our mom to the movie,
Yeah.
Which
Which
she
made
never
it-
goes.
which
She-
made it
She
worse.
sees a movie maybe once every 2-3 years.
Because if she has a bad experience, and we have,
I think the last time she went to the theater with us was Infinity War,
Nope.
or was it the Meg?
She went with us to see West Side Story here.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about West Side Story.
Anyways, Dog the Message.
But she didn't like
in
that
the
one
end
because it
was
ended
good.
too sad.
No,
and we
she
were
thought
like-
it was good. She just thought it was sad.
She didn't like the
knows-
ending.
She knows West Side
Every
Story.
time she goes to watch a movie, it ends horribly sad.
Yeah, well, except for this
except
one.
for Dog, but
But she traded the movie being sad for the
For the
entire
experience
experience of
sucking.
watching it being mad.
Yeah.
The message
there
in the end.
There was like a
good,
part in the
but-
movie where the guy has like a seizure on like the floor of his motel room,
Yeah,
and the kids were like laughing and like giggling and like.
because they don't understand what's going
And
on.
our dad was with us too, and he leaned over to the guy who was like, "Hey, can you just like stop?" And then the guy,
And also-
and then the dad was like, "Kid, be more annoying, be more annoying."
Also, our dad is a veteran, and this movie is about a veteran with mental problems. Our dad had many friends who had those same problems. So maybe don't egg your kids on to laugh.
During
serious
the
parts of the
PTSD
movie.
seizure
And, no, and the
scene.
have
dumbest part is
serious
we saw it at like
things-
9:50 at night,
It was 9:30.
and the kids were like
Started at
8 or 9 years old,
Like y'all have kindergarten
and I'm
tomorrow.
like,
Go to
why?
kindergarten class, please.
Like the kids movies nowadays are like free babysitting, right? Like the parents take their kids so they don't have to look at them for an hour and a half and they just play on their phone the whole time. But like, why are you doing babysitting at 9:50 at
Just
night?
put them to bed.
So yeah, just go to sleep.
Stay home. Just stay home
Just put on a movie. Put them in the living room.
in your
Go to the bedroom. Do not leave them there. Just,
Watch your own thing, whatever you got to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it was a bad experience, and the movie is not good.
What's the dumbest part of the movie?
The whole first 2/3 are like really meandering and like
weird.
cynical and
they
weird.
go on way too long.
And they don't develop the relationship between Channing Tatum and the dog enough.
Yeah, really,
And then the ending
only-
is fine, but it doesn't really connect with the rest of the movie, either like story wise or tonally. And
the last like
the main
30 to
character
40
is
minutes
not
of it.
likable at all. He kind of sucks.
He's a bad dude
He's a
with
bad-
a bad tooth.
Yeah, he's a bad dude with a rad tooth. And Bill Burr's in it for 4
Oh,
minutes.
good. I love it when Bill Burr shows up in things. He always does. He's always never out of place when he shows up in
Yep.
things.
He's like the only, no, and it's like a cameo, and he's like the only like cameo. Like there's not. It's not like
Like, why
it's
was
not.
he
It's,
there?
it's just like randomly Bill Burr for no reason.
Maybe he was just on set that day.
I don't know.
Maybe he was filming something else, and he just was like he thought he went to the wrong
It's
lot.
so weird too. It's like, well, okay. So the whole movie was marketed as like a buddy movie with like the guy and the dog, right?
Yeah.
And it was like bright and like a kid's family movie, but it's like not. Like it's
Yeah.
PG, but there's scenes of him
PG-13.
like. It was.
PG-13.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, no, but it was still
But there's,
marketed
like-
as like friendly.
Yeah,
fun
it's like
dog
slapstick comedy in the trailer and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like in the movie, he's like doing edibles and like trying to have a threesome and tries to murder a man with an axe.
In the words of Nostalgia Critic, a family picture.
Yeah, and it was hard to watch because I knew for a fact after the movie, Mama would be talking about it. So I was just like, please don't, I don't want to suffer. Which is the difficulty of taking.
Yeah. So yeah, guess
He
that
didn't
movie
like
sucked.
Free Guy because those girls said a swear word.
Because one girl says a swear word.
Even though she
Okay.
doesn't say it,
Yep.
which was
Blade
the
to
joke.
debut in the Marvel Studios Halloween special. I wouldn't be surprised by that. That wouldn't
He's
surprise
gonna
me.
kill Morbius. Oh my god!
I hope he kills Morbius.
I hope he kills Morbius.
And
I hope at the beginning of Morbius.
Star
10 minutes in, he
Wars
kills
to
him.
have its first Disney Plus. These are rumors, by the way.
Yeah.
Star Wars is going to have its first Disney Plus exclusive film as the culmination of the whole Mandalorian story arc they've been doing.
That'd be cool.
so that would be called The War for Mandalore.
The rumors are be like it's gonna be Heir to the Empire because it's Thrawn. It's Thrawn showing up, right? It's Thrawn.
No, don't call it Heir to the Empire. Don't do that. That's a different thing.
I'm fine with this. I would rather this be in movie theaters, though.
Yeah, I want to see it in the
As
big
the only
screen.
Star Wars thing anyone cares about.
Yeah, I want to see
If
it.
you're gonna have a film as the big culmination, put it in a
Put it
theater.
in a theater. Maybe put it on Disney Plus also.
Now I know people who don't watch these won't see it or like won't know what's going
What
on.
Star Wars fan isn't watching The Mandalorian?
Or,
How many
like,
Star Wars fans do you know that aren't
if you
watching
say
The
this is
Mandalorian?
coming out in a theater like 2 years from now, gives everyone time to catch up. And if they're just not going to watch it, they're
not going to watch it. Yeah. Like, okay, I know some people who didn't watch Book of Boba Fett. You know, maybe that's not your thing. Everyone watched The Mandalorian. Everyone loves The Mandalorian. If you don't like The Mandalorian and you like Star Wars for reasons that no one else likes Star Wars for.
Also, it's going to cost the same amount of money if it's on Disney Plus or not.
Yeah.
And again, I think this is going to be like we're having the original trilogy cast show up for the fight, and Ahsoka's going to be there, and we're going to have all the Mandalorians are there, and Thrawn's
Seeing
there.
Ahsoka on the big screen will be great.
Yeah,
Also-
I think this is going to be a big scale thing. So I think if you're going to do because they still want to do theatrical Star Wars films.
Yeah. Eventually, they're going to go back to doing that.
Yeah, well, they supposedly, but like if they're going to, and you're going to do a big culmination to this as a movie, just put it in the theater so I can see it in the theater. And also, Rogue Squadron, that's not happening. Just take that one out, put this one in. Boom,
Yeah, there
done.
you go. Do a little switcheroo. Of course, I mean, I think Rogue Squadron was supposed to come out before all this stuff is going to be finished, but
Yeah, but I fully expected this. I 100% the thing they're doing is Thrawn and Mandalore stuff.
yeah. So season 3 of Mandalorian is next year or the end of this year?
This year is their film. They are either still
I
filming.
think it's December
were
of this
filming.
year. Yeah,
So it's either late this year or
early
Early
next
next
year,
year.
one or the
They
other.
skipped it last year.
it also
Yeah.
depends on whatever their Marvel
Stuff
show release
happens.
schedule is.
Yeah, so
Whether or not
I
they
think
want
we'll
this to
see
cannibalize
the
She-Hulk.
end. We'll see Mandalorian season 3 at the end of this year, which will be basically the end of the Mandalorian show.
Yeah,
The Mandalorian will still be a character. He'll still appear in other stuff.
I think this will be the final season of The Mandalorian.
Yeah. I think
then
then
we'll get
we
the
will get the
Ahsoka
Ahsoka show,
show.
which will continue his story alongside Ahsoka fighting.
And Thrawn will be in that,
Thrawn will be in
along
that.
with Sabine and Ezra.
And
Hera
for
and
whatever contrived reason they come up with, he will want to take over Mandalore also,
stuff. Or just be bad, or whatever.
or just be bad generically. But
Yeah.
they gotta eventually. It's gotta end on Mandalore.
He'll have his fleet of Empire ships and stormtroopers, and
or his like 3 Empire
I'm sure he'll
ships.
team up with Moff Gideon, and they'll be pals.
Maybe.
Well, no, wasn't it teased that Moff Gideon was working for Thrawn?
No, we know that one lady with the staff was working for Thrawn,
Right.
but like, he doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Like she was just sort of like.
Thrawn's the big bad.
She
Thrawn's
was just
the
sort
villain.
of in charge of one
But
town in the
Thrawn's
middle of
the
nowhere.
villain everyone knows. He was the big villain
Yeah,
in the EU.
in Rebels,
And
yeah.
so he's going to be Thrawn. But yeah, I think they're going to bring in.
What weird
Han
deformity do
Solo.
you think Thrawn is going to have?
Well, he shouldn't have.
He'll have one, but I think he'll have like
like his face will be
a
burnt.
milky eye with like a face thing.
face thing.
I think he'll have a face thing.
Well, because he doesn't die. I mean, he doesn't. In Rebels, he just shoots off into hyperspace. Like,
Yeah,
really
with
villain.
Ezra.
With Ezra.
He'll have a little cut with.
I think if anyone's gonna be facially wounded, I think it's gonna be Ezra.
I think they'll both have a facial wound.
Both have facial. They'll gave to each
Same
other.
wound.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sam,
Each other at
the
Right.
Star Wars. What do you think they're gonna do when this Mandalorian thing wraps up?
I think that's when we'll start to see the. Well, either they will use the Acolyte to start exploring more
High
prequel
Republic
stuff,
yeah.
or that's when we'll start seeing development for
It's after
the
sequels.
next post Episode 9 Galaxy.
Yeah.
The
Again,
real Mandalorian.
It's all going to happen at some point.
And okay, you know what the funniest thing is? Now that Dave Filoni he's the creative director, right? Or creative
Something
lead,
like
something
that. He's like
that.
the executive creative
The
director.
next
EP.
series of movies we see after Episode 9,
He will have involvement in.
not only will he have involvement in, but will basically be retellings of the previous source material with Luke swapped out for Rey. Because that's what the fans wanted anyways. So that's just what they're going to end up doing.
Yeah. Again, when they follow up Episode 9, I say when.
They will.
They
It
will.
will happen.
I think a little bit of time. We got to at least give it 10 years.
So people can forget that it was bad and start thinking it was good.
Just so we have space from it.
Yeah.
And so there'll at least be some people positively looking back on that.
Yeah.
Or at least people have to want it. There has to be some desire for it. Because I don't even think Dave Filoni wants to handle that right now. I mean,
Not yet. I think they will.
I think
get
he
there.
just intentionally separated himself from that whole era of stuff.
Well, I mean, no, all the Mandalorian stuff takes place during
Before.
that. Yeah, before, but like slightly before.
But it mostly ties into prequel and
like
original
we will
trilogy
start to
stuff.
see the First Order sort of starting to form in the next couple series here,
Yeah, I guess.
because we're getting around that era.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll learn what on earth the Resistance is, and what exactly they were resisting, and how the First Order even
It's
got
the
there.
Resistance
Okay,
now.
so there's the High Republic, right, Sam? They were the High Republic. They're like the Old Republic, but they're new, right? Not the High Republic.
No, the
New
High Republic is the Old Republic. Just they were doing really good at that
I mean,
time.
the New Republic, right? There's the New Republic, who was the Republic after the
But it's
Empire.
new and improved.
That's
Is
right.
there a low
Yes.
Republic?
So the First Order was formed, right? And they were doing like terrorist attacks or whatever.
Mhm.
And then Leia, who was like
General Princess.
not a general yet, but she really didn't have a major role. But she was like, guys, look, they're doing bad. We gotta do something. And the New Republic was like, who cares? It's fine. We're all living it up. Doesn't matter. And then she went and basically started like a counter-terrorism organization called the Resistance, and became the head of that. And she just
And then the
recruited-
First Order blew up the
and then
entire
she just
New
recruited
Republic.
some like low-level like pilots and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the First Order built a giant death laser on a planet that was in Republic territory, and the Republic just didn't notice.
Well,
or care.
Ilum isn't populated.
But they would know about it, and like
Not if no one was
Yeah.
there. They have no reason to go
They
there.
would notice if they were shipping giant space laser parts to
Clearly,
the
they
planet.
didn't care that they were doing terrorism already. Why would they care if they were shipping things?
Mr.
Hey, they're
Kylo
building
Ren.
a giant death laser pointed at us.
No, they would go, hey, there's some shipping stuff going on. And they'd be like, okay.
You
They're
said you
digging it. It looks a
wanted-
lot like that. Remember when they built the other two?
It looks
space
like that
lasers?
other big laser thing they made. It's fine.
It says you're just going to destroy planets with millions of people?
There's on
You
this
can fucking
file
ship
that
it.
this is run by the same people who did the last evil Nazi organization. And they're doing the same thing again. They're building another space laser.
What is it with
pointed at
not
us.
space Nazis and building planet blowing
Guys,
up
I really
orbs?
think we should be concerned about the Nazis with the big laser.
Remember the Star Destroyers that have Death Stars on them? Remember when
I
there was
love
the...
that.
Remember the one that wasn't with the fleet that I
Remember-
guess is still around?
Remember when they were just like, these are, it's a fleet of millions of Star Destroyers, and they have Death Star guns, because why not? Look, we're going to blow up the World War II Poland planet or whatever.
Hey, it says here that you are building
Yeah,
millions
okay.
of
Because
death
J.J.
rays.
Abrams was
No.
like, how do we make the stakes even higher?
Exegol was just such
Just
a
more Death
stupid
Star.
concept. Like, okay... honestly, no, Exegol was fine. The dumb plot device where no one could find it
The whole thing.
makes so many plot
Literally
holes.
everything revolving the Emperor and the Force and
Made no sense.
the Final Order and the special GPS you needed to get through the magic asteroid field.
Like, who?
To get to
when
the-
was that made?
But like,
who made that?
No, like you needed it to find the planet or whatever. But when they show Rey navigating, she's just like barreling through an asteroid field,
And they just plot
And
the
just
course, and they're like,
plotting the
"Oh,
course.
we'll just go that exact same path, and I guess the asteroids just won't be flying around when we do it." Okay.
The Sith were like, we need to make 3 maps, and anyone else who
We're
wrote
gonna
this
make
down.
thousands of Star Destroyers, but they're not. They're gonna be very easily defeated by a fleet that is basically comprised of all shipping.
We're gonna build one antenna in the ground that tells them the only way they can all go one at a time.
The real world equivalent would be like if you made a bunch of tanks that shoot nuclear bombs and they were defeated by a fleet of like UPS trucks. That's basically what happened.
Our guidance antenna is
No,
destroyed.
it's like
We
if you
can't get
built-
off the
I
planet.
guess we'll all crash.
No, it's like if you
I
built
guess.
if you built like
Did they blow up every ship? Is that what happened at the
No,
end of
they
that
just
movie?
all crashed after the
They just
antenna
randomly
was destroyed.
crashed?
no, they destroyed the antenna and then so the power to control them went to that one Star Destroyer, so they had to blow up that one.
Yeah, instead of
I know
But
they
real
blow-
life-
I know they destroyed the navigation antenna so they can't leave.
But then that the
they
signal
killed the
that was coming from the
Emperor.
antenna had been transferred to a
And then
different ship.
they blew up that ship. I
Which
know.
like
yeah,
why
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
they
I
just
know, I know, I know.
transfer it to like
But like
all the ships?
What happened? What happened to
Why,
all?
why didn't you just send the file to more than one location?
Why didn't they just send the signal individually to each ship and they could all just go off on their own?
Okay,
Because they were gonna have to do that anyway.
do files just like not transfer good in Star Wars? Like remember when
I don't know.
in Rogue One when she's trying to beam up the signal
In
to
the
like
floppy disk,
I guess the internet in Star Wars just really sucks.
they don't have it. It's
they
all just like
no, they
satellite
do have a
transmission.
version of it. It has its own name. It's like I think it's literally like the intranet or something like that. It's like basically the same thing, but like slightly worse and different.
No, but like their file sharing is like you have to point a giant antenna into space and download it onto a floppy disk.
I mean,
The
yeah,
real life
then it wouldn't. I guess there wouldn't be another way to do it.
Part of the argument in Star Wars of like why the technology doesn't evolve is because they're just constantly at war.
So
no one's
all
ever,
their technology is
no one's
entirely
ever-
war.
Yeah, no one's
focused.
ever doing anything but making guns.
But okay, aside from blowing people up, what is the second most important thing in war?
Navigation,
Communication.
Yeah, and communication.
So how come your file transfer systems all suck?
Why is it? Why are all of your files dependent on giant antennas and floppy disks?
Why is it that you can have
And a million little
conversations with
switches.
people at
hologram?
faster than light speeds,
Yeah,
doing full-featured 3D renders of them,
yeah.
but transferring like a Google Maps file that requires a giant satellite, and you can only beam it one at a time.
No, you can only have one of them.
Yeah, and you only made one satellite,
They made one
or
copy
not
of.
satellite antenna.
They had millions of starships, and they built one copy of the way out. They were just like, "We'll just have one, and everyone will just follow." That'd be like if they had like a military convoy of like 200 vehicles.
Did they ever
And they
explain-
only told one of them where they were going, and they were just like, "Everyone follow whoever's in front of you to get where
No,
you
no,
need to
it's
go."
like-
the
like
other
having
Sith
a-
Wayfinder was in the Death Star, right?
One of them was on the second Death Star.
One of them was on Mustafar, and one was on
and
the
then
Death
one of them
Star.
was in a box on Mustafar.
So how did anyone get to Exegol the first time? Is there a third
like
one?
the original Sith,
No, like the people who were there.
Palpatine made them.
He didn't make them.
Yeah, he did.
He had a tank.
All
and he
like
was
the
making it.
followers or whatever, they were. Yeah, he conjured them with Sith magic.
Most of them were Sith acolytes that just worshipped the Sith before they had been living there. But like, someone had to ship all those parts to make the Star
no, he
Destroyers.
conjured them with space magic.
Oh right, yeah, he can conjure.
I'm not
things
even. No,
now.
I'm not joking. That's what the argument was.
It's-
He conjured all of the
he
starships. with
conjured a
space magic.
spaceship.
Yes, he conjured.
Okay.
That's why he wasn't doing anything for 30 years. He was just sitting there using all of his
Actually,
space magic to
okay.
conjure spaceships.
If he was using, you know how he can like open space-time wormholes with his magic pot?
What?
Remember in Rebels?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I guess he could just like. Did he just grab some Star Destroyers from the past and just bring them into the future?
Either Exegol
Or are
is-
they all a copy of the
Either
same?
Exegol has enough like natural resources to build millions of
Which
starships,
it very easily could. Planets are very. We forget how big planets are.
or
Like
Maybe
Earth,
Palpatine-
Earth alone has enough metal on it to make over 200,000 Death Stars.
I do think.
I think
I think
Palpatine
that
just
says
did a
in the
duplication
novelization, like
glitch.
he actually was like sitting there, like just like summoning spaceships out of dust.
Like okay,
And
that
like all
could
of
work.
I think he also conjures like all the people like manning them too.
I
No,
think
the
he just
people
used
were
a-
explained that they were Sith acolytes
So
that
he
had been
just
there.
had
before.
billions of Sith acolytes
No,
living on
they
basically an
weren't.
inhabitable
They
planet.
were Sith worshippers that were there before he was even a thing. Like they had lived
So
there
they
for
were just
generations.
living there
Yeah, that was like a Sith
on
cult
this
planet.
giant barren ice planet.
Well, no, that's just one temple on the. There's other stuff on the planet. We just only see that one part because that's where the movie was.
And he was training them. It's a dumb
Okay,
movie.
so let's
dumb
say,
movie.
for the sake of argument, he uses his space-time opening pot, right? Grabs a single Star Destroyer from the past.
How do you grab a Star Destroyer out of a
He
pot?
shot fire at Ahsoka after she was dead in this dimension. None of that matters.
That was fire. We're talking about grabbing
Okay.
a full-size Star
Listen,
Destroyer and pulling it into reality.
Let's say he sends his little dudes in there, right? They go get a Star Destroyer.
They just
they
grab
take it apart. They bring it back. They assemble it. Then he just duplicates that Star Destroyer.
Yeah, he did a
over and
duplication
over
glitch.
again.
Control.
Yes.
And
He did a duplication glitch.
Let's say he.
Wait.
Let's
If
say
he did conjure Star Destroyers, why did he build the first Death Star by hand for 19 years?
Maybe he didn't know how to do it then.
Why didn't he just use his force magic to just make one out of nothing?
No, because he didn't do that. Okay, he went back in time with his little acolytes.
So he can only
They
conjure
took apart-
spaceships if he has one to work from.
They took apart a Star Destroyer, brought it back to the future, put it back together, put a big Death Star gun on it. Then he went back in time like 5 minutes, got another one and just put it there, and basically just duplication glitched
So he was
the
just-
same
he
Star
was just
Destroyer.
grabbing-
And that's why when they sent the signal to that one, once they destroyed that one, none of them worked because they were all the same Star
none
Destroyer.
of them worked because it was originally on an antenna in the ground.
Yeah.
That was telling them how to get out.
Yeah.
And they were about to blow that up.
Except for the one that had already gotten out.
So they transferred the signal to one of them who was supposed to then guide them all out.
Again,
but
aside from the one that clearly already had the signal
But they
because it
blew
had already
that
gotten
one
out.
up. And so the rest of them just couldn't leave. And then all of the heroes leave. And the rest of them are just sitting there, I guess.
It makes perfect sense.
It's like connecting
As
a
far
bunch
as
of
I
like.
remember, they don't blow up all of the Star Destroyers at the end of that movie. I could be wrong. There could be like a giant chain reaction that explodes them all. But as far as I remember, they just blow up the big one, they kill Palpatine, and then they just dip.
I think they just crash into each other in the chaos. I thought is kind of what happened
And then they just
because they
leave.
were just all super close together, which is also really stupid. They could have just put them at different levels, but whatever.
Why was that his evil plan?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
How did they miniaturize Death Star gun technology in like 5 years?
Well, no, it had been like 30 years.
But Sam, we're talking the giant space laser was like the size of a whole moon.
Yeah.
And within like 20 years of like living on an ice planet completely separate from everyone else, they figured out how to take a planet-sized gun
With none of the original engineers?
with none of the original
Yeah.
engineers
Okay, so
or
here's-
resources and just made it into a gun like
Okay.
the size of this room.
Think about it, all right? Hear me out. How much of the Death Star is actually a gun?
The whole like at least a third.
Like, really, it's just that one big gun part. Because in the schematics, you can just sort of pull out
Also,
the
the
gun
power
part.
source has to be completely different because they weren't mining kyber crystals for the Star Destroyers.
No, all the kyber crystal that they had mined from Ilum went to this project. Because remember, the Star Killer base was powered by stars, not kyber crystals.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Because the Star Killer base guns is obviously what they're using on the Star Destroyers. Like
Yeah.
you can tell it's the same
The
stuff.
red, yeah.
So are they getting smaller stars and that's what they're using for it
No.
instead?
Kyber crystals are powering the Star Destroyer guns.
Okay. So
Sun's powered.
so the Death Star was powered by kyber crystals,
yes.
right?
And it was the first time they made it. Think of it as a prototype.
Ilum, when they built the giant space laser into it, they mined all the kyber crystals out and then built the space laser powered by stars.
Yes.
And then they used all of the kyber crystals from the planet they mined out, sent them to an exegol in space, and then they used those in all of their miniature space lasers for the millions of Star Destroyers they were
Yes.
making. And J.J. Abrams thought this made sense.
He does. Still, he thinks that today.
Do you think he even saw Episode 8?
Probably.
I have a theory he didn't even watch it.
I'm pretty sure he had to watch it.
I doubt it.
Pretty sure he directed it, so he would have been there when it was being
Abrams
filmed.
watches the movies he produces. Like, I doubt he's actually seen Star Trek 3.
All right. Is that it for the Star Wars debate? What
Sam,
even was all that?
Why was it so dumb? Why was it so
It
stupid?
makes perfect sense if you think
They
about
had to go to the desert planet and get the knife, where if you stand exactly where you need to on the planet, it'll show you where the Sith
the Wayfinder
is.
is. Which, like, why would you even make that?
Why?
Why not just take the Wayfinder with you
That event
instead
happened-
of standing at a specific spot, carving a knife, presumably in that spot, to point at a specific thing than going on to use the map knife to kill people.
How about instead of carving a knife into the shape of the object you were trying to get people to find, just draw a picture of it.
Or make a regular map.
Or make a hologram with your hologram technology.
And why would you etch into it a language that
people don't even
no
speak?
one knows? None of it made sense. That is all dumb.
Why was Palpatine being kept alive by a big crane?
Well, because he's kind of a corpsey man.
How did that happen? He transferred his soul.
Same way
right?
it did in the previous continuity.
The thing is,
And it's the same thing where like the clones aren't strong
the thing
enough.
was that he gets thrown down the shaft in episode 6, right?
Mhm.
And he dies, and then he uses force magic to transfer his soul millions of light years away to a different planet.
Yeah.
Into a clone of himself. The
Yes.
clone sucked, and so he had to be hooked up to a big crane.
Well, he kept doing it with different clones, but none of the clnes were strong enough. The dark side causes your body to decay.
So while
it was causing them to decay too fast.
killing himself via dark side magic and keeping himself alive via dark side magic, he was also using the dark side magic to conjure big spaceships.
Yeah, which is why his clones were decaying so fast.
Got it. And his plan, again, was to make a million spaceships and just run around shooting at planets until they let him be in charge.
Agreed. Are you gonna listen to me? No. Okay, you explode
Millions
now.
of years in the making. His plan. Just shoot everybody. What if none of them listened? What if he blew up like every inhabited planet? And then he was just floating
Just by
around in
himself,
space.
a
just
clone
by
of a
himself.
decrepit
No,
man.
he had like kids movie logic where they take over the world by killing everyone, but at that point they have no one to control, so they're
Yeah,
just
so
on the
what
world
was
by
the point
themselves.
anyways?
No, he was going to do it through fear. The fear of him blowing everyone up was going to let him subjugate them.
Yes,
Which was
no other
already the
villain
point
has
of the
tried
Death
that.
Star. Again, you only really need one of those for that plan to work.
Hey,
Except
we
for-
gotta
Except for those keep
Part of-
exploding
Except
super
for
easily.
part of his plan was none of the ships had internal navigation technology. They were all dependent on an antenna in the crown.
It's like making 200 like planes, and they're all connected to one
Like, do they not
Wi-Fi
have
router.
flash drives in Star Wars?
No. You know what it would be? It'd be like if Apple Maps was powered by one antenna at like Apple headquarters in
And
California.
only one car could use it at a time.
And if that antenna goes down at Apple, just no one has access to Apple Maps.
And even when it's up, they can only beam directions to one car at a time. And it only takes you to one place.
Remember the part in the movie where he's shooting lightning into to the sky,
Mm-hmm.
and he blows up everyone's spaceships, and then he goes, unlimited power.
Mm-hmm. Again, that part, I mean, in the context of Star Wars, makes more sense than the rest of what was going on.
How come his lightning was so big?
Because he absorbed the Force dyad from Rey and
'Cause
Kylo Ren.
He
Remember when
sucked the
when he
Force.
pushes Kylo into that big pit, and he just climbs out?
Then Kylo
Yeah.
comes
For like 5
back, and
minutes.
then he immediately dies.
Yep.
Yeah, Kylo is really powerful, but
Remember
also
the part
kinda
in the
dumb.
movie where she kills him by just like turning his lightning around on him?
Mhm.
It's insane that worked
Twice now.
twice against him.
I have an idea.
Like literally. You think after the first time where he was like, "Why?"
You think after Force lightning has been like Count Dooku got deflected it.
Uh-huh.
Darth Sidious has been deflected now.
Twice.
3 times now. This move has been used and very easily deflected. Maybe it's time we get a different move.
He's shooting lightning at the lightsabers, which is disintegrating himself in the process, and he just keeps shooting the lightning. He could just stop.
Well, in that case, it was because he was trying to convince Anakin to attack
yeah, but
the
like
guy. Like, that one made
the
sense.
second time,
Second time, he just
when
kept
he
doing
was
it.
turning into ashes, he could have just gone stop, push, win.
No, she was pulling it out of him.
Was it? Was that what's happening?
Maybe.
Didn't make sense.
Who cares?
Remember that part where she heals that worm? Just so they can set up force healing for the third act?
No, it had been set up in Mandalorian
Remember-
slightly before that.
Oh, about a week before the movie came out?
Yep.
Remember how Finn throughout the whole movie is like, I gotta tell Rey something, and then he just doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he's ambiguously force sensitive?
Uh-huh. That'll be cool, never.
Remember the magic token that lets you go to every planet in the universe unrestricted?
No.
Remember? The Poe Dameron's girlfriend gives him like the captain's coin that lets you go anywhere.
It's just like, this is a free pass this is a passport to anywhere. Once you get one of these, everywhere is free.
Remember when Chewbacca gets his medal?
Because he didn't get one before.
His reward, all of his friends are dead, and his reward is he gets someone else's medal from 50 years ago.
Well, my entire species is dead.
All my friends are dead.
I haven't seen my friends in 40 years, and most of them were killed in enslavement. My best friend for 40 years was stabbed. His wife died when I wasn't there. I saw Luke once in like 30 years, and then he died. And now I get this medal.
Yay.
That's my reward. And he doesn't even get to keep the Millennium Falcon. They give it to Lando.
Maybe he's gonna go on adventures with Lando.
But I guess he's kind of friends with Lando, so
maybe he'll go on adventures with Lando.
No, in that Lando show, he'll be in. No, because like, what else is he gonna do? Who else is he gonna go with? He doesn't know any of these people.
Yeah, he doesn't know anyone else. I mean, maybe kind of Rey-ish.
But like, he knows
Sorta
Lando
Rey.
better than he knows Rey.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Honestly, we don't know anymore.
He's known Lando for longer, at least.
He's known of Lando for longer.
No, because they're in Solo together.
They meet in Solo though. He didn't know who that was before that.
But presumably they like met since then in between Solo and Episode 7.
They occasionally play
he
cards.
meets Rey in Episode 7, and they're friends for like a year. The point is that Chewbacca and R2-D2 both get the short end of the stick in the sequel trilogy.
And C-3PO.
Less so him.
But that's just because he sucks.
Remember when in that movie where they're like, he's making a heroic sacrifice by giving up his memory, and then he just gets it back?
Yep.
Like 20 minutes later, and everyone's just like, okay.
So that was pointless then?
Remember when he goes, I'm taking one
Remember when he goes, but R2-D2 doesn't have any memory backs up. But then he just does. He just does though. I guess R2-D2 just lied for no reason.
No, you know what that was probably in the original, because in the original script with Duel of the Fates, it ends with R2-D2 like projecting all of Star Wars for everybody because he was there the whole time. And I bet you that was like, R2-D2 probably doesn't have memory banks of everything. And then at the end of that movie, he was supposed to be like, actually, I do. Here's the entire story of Star Wars.
Yeah, because they've made a point over and over again throughout the Star Wars franchise that R2-D2 has never had his memory wiped.
Yeah,
he was supposed to have it wiped routinely throughout Clone Wars. We know for a fact from that one arc with Grievous that Anakin hasn't done that because he doesn't want to like lose his friend or whatever. We know that he doesn't get his memory wiped in Episode
3. They only wipe C-3PO.
Yeah, for like reasons they don't really explain. It
was because they in Episode 4 he doesn't know that Darth Vader is Anakin.
Yeah,
and they retconned that he created him in the prequels, and so they needed a reason for him not to know.
And then we know that R2-D2 didn't have his memory wiped in Episode 4 because he was on his way to get it wiped, and then they got attacked by Darth Vader's ship, so that didn't happen.
Literally, R2-D2. Why did they even wipe his memory?
Well, I don't. Probably because he's going to run out of storage eventually.
He's got like 25 years of war experience.
He's got like 15 terabytes.
This guy, he's like 1,000 military strategist in existence. He's literally like 40 years older than their leading military commanders. And they're constantly trying to wipe his
never
memory.
actually like applies any of his knowledge. Like he's really just like basically a really fancy screwdriver.
In the sequels, they just like throw a sheet on him and they're like, this thing sucks.
Like, okay, R2-D2 for all of his personality is like basically just a fancy screwdriver.
No, he's literally
like, he has all this knowledge saved up and he can do a lot of things, but he can't like critically think.
The Astromech's point is literally just to be like a Siri for your spaceships.
Yeah, it's basically just an iPhone.
And R2-D2 just happens to be responsible for literally every single major
really
event
old
in the Star Wars
iPhone.
universe.
I think
he's like
R2-D2
if you took an iPhone 2G, gave it like 30 terabytes of storage, and then just turned the camera on and never turned it off. That's basically what R2-D2
is literally responsible for every single major event in the Star Wars timeline.
Almost, yeah.
None of the Skywalker saga would have happened, literally, if it weren't for him.
Yeah, because he fixes the ship on Naboo. That's where he came from.
That saves Padme and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Causes all of that to happen.
He delivered the message to Luke, which caused all of A New Hope, and he provided the map to Luke, which led to episode 8
and he ran away to Obi-Wan while on Tatooine, which led Luke to find Obi-Wan. And he had the map to Luke Skywalker.
And he helped
in the
Anakin
sequels.
fly to that planet where he murdered all those children.
He did that too.
I think R2D2 is actually the real mastermind of Star Wars.
I love the idea that R2D2 was just like, he just like slid on over to the good side.
What if R2D2
like he helped Anakin kill all those kids, and then he was just like, well, Anakin's gone. I guess I'm with you guys, right?
Guess I'm just hanging out with y'all now.
Master Skywalker, what are we going to do?
I bet you they're gonna retcon that.
They're not gonna retcon that.
I bet you they're oh yeah, I guess they do say he killed younglings in that hologram.
Yeah. There's no way that they could retcon that. That's like a defining moment
I
for
think
that
R2D2
character.
is actually the mastermind. Like everyone was saying, Jar Jar Binks is actually the Sith mastermind. But no, R2D2 is the one really.
What is something that is confusing is, you know how the lightsaber crystals bleed, right?
Mm-hmm, to make them red.
Whenever you do something like a heinous act that it wasn't supposed to do, why didn't it like turn red when he killed the younglings? I guess the lightsaber just like didn't really care about that.
Is that what it is? Is that what makes them? I thought you just forced them really hard and they turned red.
You have to make but you have to pour all of your like negative energy into it.
Well, I think you have to like isolate the crystal. He was just like swinging a lightsaber.
He was just like,
Yeah, it's true, I guess.
I think
He was definitely
most-
using the
I
I
dark
think he
side.
was mostly like, I just gotta murder these kids so I can save my wife.
This makes
is
sense.
justified.
women hot, kill children so I can get a woman.
I must protect my unborn child by killing this child. Wait, what am I doing?
By killing these other children.
Wait a minute, hang on, let me think. What?
I'm
What's
committing mass
happening right now?
genocide for
Why
what?
am I doing this?
Does my wife even like me? I don't think she does.
Man, my life as a child was really hard. Really empathize with these children. I want to kill them, actually.
Have you seen the test footage for the fight with Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar, where Anakin actually like throws Padme against the wall and then they
No.
fight? That would have made so much more sense than him just going.
Well, he like chokes her and then she falls over.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds, and she just sort of falls over. If she actually got flung against something, that would make
Remember
sense.
when she dies by sadness?
Yep, that's why they changed it. Because before she would have had injuries that she could have potentially died from. Now she just sort of got a little bit choked and dies
the
of
logic
sad.
was mass genocide, including children, fine. Killing a pregnant woman, no.
Yep.
That's too far.
That's too far.
Well, no, they wanted it to be that she died of sad. It wasn't the fact that she died. It was
died
the
of
fact that they wanted her
sadness.
to die from the
From
heartbreak with
heartbreak,
Anakin.
yeah.
Anakin, she is officially dead because she's sad.
I pronounce you dead of sadness.
The cause of death, sad.
Sir, detective, what happened to her?
Looks like she got so
She
sad.
was just real sad.
died. Murdered by
Sad.
sadness.
Anakin died. He died because I've diagnosed it.
Yeah, there's some dumbness. There's some
Star
dumbness.
Wars
right
is
there.
Like, if you
a
had
franchise
the
written by a pure intelligence.
You could like in
This
Star
is why
Wars-
Clone Wars is the best part of the entire Star Wars universe.
Yeah, probably.
It is the most cohesive and
It
best
might be the
written
best part of it. Yeah.
It is. It definitely is.
If you were fighting
Like
someone in
what?
a ship,
What series of parts of Star Wars is again aside from the main trilogy, because like that part's
Yeah.
mostly good. Aside from that, other than Clone Wars, like what is good?
Rebels is good.
Well, except for the whole of the first season where nothing happens.
Mandalorian.
Okay, Mandalorian,
Just the
that stuff's good.
Mandalorian is good.
But that stuff's mostly good because it's just a continuation of Clone Wars.
well, the second season is.
yeah,
The first one stands alone.
yeah.
But like even that.
you had the
Some of the video games are good.
The ones that are not canon.
Yeah.
you had the Force.
I want to
Uh,
see
and
more
you
of
have
the
the fighting.
Books. Some of the books. People like
some
those
of the ones that are
Thrawns.
canon.
People like those Thrawns.
If you were
I
fighting
want to see
in like
more
a
of the Cal
spaceship-
Kestis stuff. I want to see the Dathomir witch girl. She's hot.
Remember when she joins the team in that?
Yep.
And then they
And it does nothing.
No, and like she joins the team, and then like the next mission is like the last one, and like she doesn't even get to like do anything in
Yeah.
the story.
I feel
Like,
like
why
the
is
game
she
just
here?
got kind of cut short because it's
If you were
without by
fighting
the
someone
NBA time
on a
restraints.
ship-
Yeah.
If you were fighting someone on a ship, you had Force. Like lift, and they would just.
Well, if you're not fighting someone who's force sensitive, yeah, and that's what Darth Vader did in that fight with those guys in that ship where he just goes dunk. Yeah, he did that. That happened.
Well, one of the biggest plot holes in Star Wars is whenever a Jedi has to fight like a normal guy. He like pulls out the laser sword and like fights him. It's like, why does he just go?
Sometimes they do. It depends. Well, the Jedi
requires
don't.
energy.
The Jedi don't because they're not supposed to use the Force
They're
to
not
attack
supposed to
people.
be
That's why they
mean.
have lightsabers.
They're supposed to be emotionless, celibate nerds who sit in a room and just sit there and go, should we do something?
And read the future and don't tell anyone.
Just sit in a room, read the future, and then just go, this one's going to happen, guys. And the rest of them just go, yep, we should do nothing about it. Qui-Gon, go do stuff.
Qui-Gon, you're the only one that does things. Go do some things.
Master Yoda, I think he might be the savior of the universe. He's too old and annoying. Leave him back on the slave
Guys,
planet.
Put him back on the sand
The
planet.
Sith are gonna
Put
kill
him back in
everyone.
slavery. Thanks, Master Yoda. You're so wise.
What a good plan you have.
No, they're literally like Wakanda. But if no one ever wanted to solve any problems, like Wakanda had all, the problem. Like they could have helped everyone.
No, it's even dumber because they
It's
can
even
read
dumber.
the future, but they have like a religious, what's the word? Like a religious dogma that prevents them from actually being able to
their whole
do
thing-
anything
Their
about
whole
it.
thing is they're supposed to help everyone, but they're not allowed to feel love or empathy. They're supposed to just like be emotionless robots who are just like, I will help you because of the creed.
Because the Force said to do it.
Because,
I just
because the green frog says that's what we're supposed to do.
the Sith are gonna invade and kill everyone.
We're supposed
We
to
should sit and
we're
talk
supposed
about
to-
it for a few
We're
days.
supposed to search the universe for children to recruit instead of just having children that would also be Force sensitive. And we're supposed to give them magic laser swords
This
that
is
they
why-
are never allowed to use.
This is why the Sith were more effective.
No, that was the whole point. That was what George Lucas was trying to say in the prequels,
The
right?
Jedi had become,
Was that they sucked.
yeah.
And that they had to die. And then in the sequels, they were just like, oh, they're just gonna be back. They'll just be back. They'll just be the Jedi again.
Well, no, that was where Luke. That was
Part of Luke's
that
failure.
was Luke's character arc, and it was hard to tell with
Yeah.
all the stupid that was going on. But that was Luke's character arc.
Is that he
was
tries to do the same thing.
finally gets it.
Is that the Jedi are
He
supposed to die?
Finally understands.
But then that plot point is
that the
immediately-
Jedi were wrong.
Yeah, that they had to die.
Well, not
And
that
then-
they had to die, but just that their dogma was wrong.
The version of them that existed had to go away.
Yeah.
And then in episode 9, they're like, never mind. She's just going to bring the Jedi back, and Jedis
Well,
are
they'll,
cool
they'll
again.
be back, but I don't think they'll do the same celibate nerd thing. I think they'll be back in sort of how Luke's Jedi temple was in the original expanded universe. Because again, I think they're just going to basically do the same thing, just with Rey in charge.
You know
Luke.
what they're going to do? Because you know how Coruscant exploded?
Did it?
Yeah, it blows up in episode 7.
No, that's not Coruscant. That's
Yeah, it
another
is.
planet. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
They've
It
said
is.
it's not Coruscant.
No, they did say it's Coruscant.
No, it's not.
They blow it up because that's where the New Republic is.
The New Republic. Why would the New Republic be on Coruscant?
Because that's where whatever the government is, they're always in Coruscant.
No, the New Republic wasn't. They were on another planet.
No, they were on Coruscant.
No,
Will
they
you just,
okay. Let's
end
just
the
look it up.
episode now?
No. We got
They're gonna
to have a
bring
good
the new
discussion.
Jedi Temple's gonna be on Tatooine. You watch.
Keep talking.
Anyway, leave your theories on what you think they should do in Star Wars in the comments below. Should they bring back Yoda again? Maybe.
Guys, the Sith are coming. Let me talk to the council of 300 people. 500.
Master Yoda, I think the evil guys who are hell-bent on our destruction are trying to kill us.
Master
all of
Yoda,
us.
there's a
That's
killer.
funny.
There's a
We're gonna
killer
go back
Sith
to,
outside.
to sitting in the library.
What if I talk to these guys over here?
No, it was Hosnian Prime was where the New Republic was.
It was
So
Prime?
Coruscant didn't explode.
Coruscant does not explode. Coruscant in the expanded universe was eventually
Right,
destroyed
yeah, I know you are right.
10,000 years after the Battle of
Optimus
Yavin, but that's for like
Prime?
totally unrelated reasons.
You're right. Coruscant, because Coruscant was supposed to be in episode 9.
Yeah, that
The
was
original
where
version.
the final
That
battle
what
was
the final
supposed
battle was
to
gonna
take.
be, yeah.
God, that would have been so much cooler.
Such a better movie. With a lot
Such a
script.
better idea, except for the weird swamp monster that was
But other
the
than
Sith
that-
Lord. But other than that, everything was cool.
It made more sense and it was a better
Yeah.
continuation of the story. And then this one, it was just like spaceships, a million spaceships.
What if we had a Death Star?
Remember that
gun?
part in episode 1 where they learn that the Sith are still around, and then so they just sit there and do nothing about it for 10 years?
You think in episode 10 they'll miniaturize the tech even more and they'll have guns that destroy planets?
It's destroy God, it's gonna
Like
be bad.
like in the Freemaker saga when they have that lightsaber that can cut planets in half.
Ooh, guys, they all have knee guns, and they all destroy
Boba
planets.
Fett already has one of those.
Yeah, but
No,
it
that's
doesn't
what I'm
blow up
saying.
planets.
So they all get Boba Fett's knee guns. It's
Boba
all-
Fett's
No,
knee
no,
guns
no,
are
no, no.
planet
Like,
destroying
Sam.
now.
Pew, pew.
Planet destroying guns, giant lightsabers. Right? They turn their spaceships into lightsabers, and they're shooting the guns at the planets.
Okay.
And then the spaceships are flying in, deflecting the deflecting the planet destroying laser back into them. That explodes.
Okay, you know
That's
Padme's
rad.
like a
and
little.
then they build big robots out of the spaceships, and then
Tucker.
they punch
Okay,
each
Tucker,
other
shut
in the
up.
face.
You know Padme's like needly ship that she flies around in from
No.
Naboo?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Naboo
silver one?
Yeah, not the Starfighter, but the little skinny one.
Yeah.
What if you made one of those out of like Beskar, and then you just hyperdrived it through a planet, just like blew up planets that way? Why not?
That's the new plan.
That'll be in the new movie.
I mean, in the High Republic, they hyperspace like debris into spaceships and that.
yeah, but
kind
not
of
on
stuff.
purpose. That was like a accident to destroy
No,
a
no,
planet.
But like, I don't know.
I still don't understand why they didn't.
Sam, because that maneuver is 1 in a million.
Yeah, sure it is, because it has to be for
'Cause
the
it has to.
universe to make sense.
Because otherwise, they'll just constantly do that.
No, I don't get why the separatists didn't make kamikaze vulture droids with
Because it's
hyperdrives.
1 in a million, Sam.
So make 1,000,000 of them. They're droids.
No, it's because hyperdrives are expensive.
Okay, so just make like one really good.
Yeah, that's why
hyperdrive.
they don't. That's why all the individual ships don't have them.
Yeah, it's
that's why. Like, all
that's why the
TIE
Jedi
fighters
Star.
don't.
That's why the Starfighters don't have them.
Yeah,
Anyway.
because they built the big.
Well, no,
rings.
it's not that they're too expensive; that they just don't fit.
Well, yeah, that too.
That's what I'm saying. Just make a big vulture droid.
That's why they need the big ships. Cause in the big.
Just make a
space.
big vulture droid, a really big one.
They just make. Why don't the Sith just make like little tiny box ships, like a bunch of like kamikaze droids in them?
Why didn't Emperor
Like the
Palpatine?
Borg from Star Trek.
Like what?
The Borg,
What is he saying? Is he saying
No.
why don't they make a million little ships?
like
and then
a
fly them
bunch of
into
big
other ships?
cubes.
No, there's like a bunch of, like just like like those, but jam packed.
Wait.
What?
Max, what are
And
you?
you just drop them
Why
down
not
on
just
the...
drop regular bombs?
Wait, are you saying why don't they-
strapping?
Max,
Why are you strapping droids to the
Max.
bombs?
No, what if they're
Your
bird
argument,
droids?
why don't they just have spaceships full of bombs that they drop
No,
on
no,
other
okay.
ships?
They're
They
like-
do. They do that.
Okay, what if they're like bird droids and they have multiple bombs?
What is that? How does that change anything?
It's a bunch of planes with bombs, but they're birds.
How is that? How is that different? I don't understand what the difference is.
Accomplish. Why?
How would that change
What
anything?
if we strap grenades to a bird and drop
No,
it from
'cause-
space?
No, because that way they can like maneuver around like defense system.
So you're saying why don't they have kamikazes as droids?
Yeah.
So what I said like 20 minutes
no,
ago,
no,
but you
no,
said
but
it really
not-
dumb.
Not just that. No, they
But
have
dumber.
little ships and they drop them down.
Drop them down where?
They can navigate
Into, like,
on
the
their
bases
own.
of
They
the
don't
Jedi.
need to be
Or
dropped.
the resistance.
They can navigate on their own. They don't need to be dropped anywhere. They would just fly in and then explode.
I gotta go.
Okay, yeah, you do that. All right, are we done? I think we're done. I think we've been
we've
talking
been done for
about like
30
nonsense
minutes.
for a while. Alrighty, bye everybody. Bye
We're
bye.
terrible at ending these.
We're so good at this. This is the best
We're
podcast.
pros.
The funnest podcast in
Funnest
town.
podcast in town.